I was interviewing Calvin Harris. This was one of my first interviews. I'm interviewing Calvin Harris at what was Sound Academy, now is Rebel. And one of my questions was about Lady Gaga because I knew that he hated Lady Gaga. So I'm like, let me interview this guy and I'll talk to him, and we're talking, we're laughing, new album, like how's the, and at the time, this was when Calvin Harris was brand new. So it was him and his manager. That was it. That's all he could afford.
Yeah, you're just saying these names like they're nothing.
Exactly.
Oh, I mean,
exactly.
I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
But go on.
It's funny. That's actually something Mike and I...
This guy is used to those pictures on him.
But SB, I promise you, people have no idea what that perspective actually is, because he's out here downplaying like I'm still just Dre at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Bro, you handled what, a $3.5 million budget? And people would never know.
15 actually.
50, bruh.
Only going up this year.
Even the musicians' names.
He handles a $15 million budget.
Boom.
That's what he's responsible for. He is a somebody out here.
Yo, give me the autograph.
But to him, it's like, yo, you get what I mean? You get what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're still just Dre. I'm gonna hit you with this one off the rip, because when we hit that means you have to come back to something we were just talking about before we start before we start to digress into a bunch of other shit.
Okay.
So what you just said was somebody called you a superhero last night. What's that about, bro?
Yeah.
Now let's get it. Only going up this year.
Both of those joints right now. Shout out Lazy John. He's one of the homies from Rexdale. And I promise I'm gonna play you one of his songs when we come back out of the next break. But
all right, we'll see.
Who called you a superhero last night? I hope she was a female.
No, it was a dude.
Oh, come on. This guy just sussed around, man.
I didn't tell you either way. You guys got hype. So it's still the thing to be hype about, I think,
Damn it, yo. I was hoping for so much more with that.
It could be so much more, though. But
you think so? Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I already shared. I already shared that I went to Puerto Vallarta, so we're good.
But he told you he's planning to go to Mexico next month.
I am planning to go to Mexico. We'll see, man. We'll see.
That is hilarious. Man.
Yeah.
Only going up this year.
But for those who don't know, who we have in the building, it's one of the homies that. How old are we now? Damn it.
Man, don't make us seem that old.
Don't do that.
We're not that old, man. We're young. We're babies still.
Yo,
we are.
We need this guy on the show more often.
We are.
That's more my vibe, bro. There we go.
Babies,
there we go.
We're babies, man.
Today we're gonna go with Dre. We'll just leave it very simple, not to throw the name key in there. Just leave it as Dre. Yeah. But you come with a whole lot of credentials out here. You're a Centennial grad, much like myself. For those who don't know, big up everybody at Centennial College, especially those in the broadcasting and film program.
It's a hard industry.
We happen to be graduates of that program.
A lot of people didn't graduate.
Where you at now? Yo, but some of the ones that didn't graduate are doing quite well for themselves.
They are. They actually are.
I love how you did that. That's a fact.
Yeah. Shout out to homie Chris Strikes real quick, yo.
It's definitely one of those industries.
I got a story actually about that. Chris doesn't even know this.
Which Chris? Same Chris?
Strikes, yeah.
Yeah.
So if he sees this. But anyway,
he's another one that at some point, he has to be in here at some point too.
Yeah.
But what were you going to say?
So I'm on set for the Legacy Awards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to one of the executives from CBC. Him and I start chatting. He's Aboriginal or Native. I start asking him about his culture and just some of the symbolism that I see. So he's telling me the story, and he's like, actually, and now we're eating a patty and cocoa bread because
because of his documentary?
No.
Okay.
Because the caterer that we got, that's what they gave us for lunch that day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we're eating patty and cocoa bread, and he's like, actually, we have this documentary on CBC called Patty versus Patty. I'm like, yeah, that's Chris Strikes. I went to the same school as him.
Yeah.
But it was just funny that I was able to bring somebody up in conversation to an executive at CBC, and it was about somebody that we went to school with.
That you know personally.
Yeah.
That is big.
Yeah.
Shout out Chris Strikes. If you have a chance, go on CBC. I think it's still up. It's called Patty versus Patty. And it talks about where Patty started in the city of Toronto.
I'm going to go check that out.
And how far back it goes and what the actual story is behind it. I saw it a few months ago. Even my dad came across it and watched it, and we had a bit of a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
where
really
did it start? I remember Humber College and Finch, that little factory there used to be.
That's like, trust me, Nah, that's like
That's not
they
the starting. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but there's a story to it, and he did a really good job at, I guess, piecing it together. But
it's interesting.
He and I have a story because the day that he dropped out of school, I was with him. The plan was for both of us to drop out together, but I stuck with it, graduated, and he didn't. But his story, his path that he went on, absolutely amazing.
That's so dope. You guys are like Ken and Ryu.
I guess. I never thought about
Hadouken! We need the fireball one now.
That's like Ken and Ryu. But
anyways, let me hit this one again.
Hadouken!
So if you missed it, this is Dre. We're not gonna do the govy thing today. He is Dre. And we are going to have a conversation. Because we are going to be in conversation with Dre. You like how I did that there?
That was cute. That was
yeah,
cute.
Shout out your podcast, bro. But today you're with us on Speak Your Perspective.
Yes.
You happen to be the producer for Canada's Got Talent. The top dog over there, right? Big up your thing a little bit, dog. Like, I'll give you 10 seconds because I still got to do this guy's intro.
Credentials.
Give you one.
Yeah, man. I mean,
you know what, Knots? We'll even put up a sideboard with like all of his credentials. Like, big up the Centennial grads out here because them finua.
I mean,
them finua.
I think Centennial's got the deepest roster of talent in the city, man. Like Ryerson's great, Humber's great, but what Centennial's been able to do with what we had.
You want to talk about depth?
Come on, man.
You want to talk about depth?
We forged it out of steel and concrete.
Chill.
Like Ryerson had the programs and the internships and the money and the gear.
Exactly.
Like we didn't. Humber had the partnership.
Humber had the name,
and they had the partnership with York.
Yeah.
So you could go to York. We didn't have none of that. We had the community college.
Bro.
That was literally where they shot Degrassi. Like we were actually in an actual high school.
Yeah.
And look what we did. Look where we are.
Look at where we are, literally.
Yeah. Look at this.
Damn finua.
You know, man. So, but
Seneca, I see you guys out
Seneca's
there.
cool.
Centennial better start sponsoring this fucking show right now.
But back to your credentials a little bit. You're the top dog over there at Canada's Got Talent.
Yeah. Big
time show on TV, a real cable.
Yo, come on, that's big.
It is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Share a day. What's a day like? I know we're still on the intro. I can't wait.
What's a day like?
Yeah, what's a regular day like?
Closing $1 million deals.
Woo! Woo! We're gonna get to some more of that, but I happen to go by the name of Bun. You can find me on Instagram at wha'SUP. You know, plug your Instagram real quick.
Yeah, it's _Dre_. It's _Dre_.
We'll put it in your name key, but now that you said it, for anybody who's listening, they'll get it too.
Yep.
But yes, I go by the name of Bun. You can find me on Instagram at wha'SUP Bun. This guy over here is SB the Student. Find him on Instagram at SB the Student.
Simple.
Books galore. I promise you, anything you want to know, he's got his book clubs. Find him if you want to join. He's out there and ready to get to work. Behind the scenes, we got Knots, Zealous. Big them up every time. All that mix, magic, audio, and video. Keep him booked. Keep him busy. Shout out Face. He ain't here today, and neither is Pree. But trust me, we get it. She'll be back probably next week, maybe if not the week after for sure. But once again, Dre, back to you. So far, we know you're a Centennial grad. Where'd you grow up in the city? East End guy, West End guy?
East End, grew up in Scarborough.
Yo, bro. Bullets. That one too.
You guys are so quick to divide. Now we're good, bro. We're good.
I'm just joking. Big up everybody in Scarborough. But continue. You're East End, man.
Yeah, I grew up in Scarborough. I have a younger sister, older brother. Got both my parents at home, and
we're in Scarborough. You want to shout out your block?
I grew up around. I was born in Glamorgan. That's where we were born. Okay. Where I was born, and then we moved over to Yonge. I'm at Yonge and Eglinton now, but we moved over to Markham and Ellesmere.
Okay.
So that's like Tux, if you will, and then I moved over to Scarborough Golf Club, which is like OP area.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
I have a little bit of family over there. I don't know. They were there. I don't think they're still there.
Yeah. So I moved around a little bit.
How much time you spend in the West End? Because all of us are from Rex.
I know, and I don't know why I'm here.
That's a setup. Okay.
Exactly.
right?
Just know that the man them are ready still. Like, if anything, like the
Gunshots, of course.
just know that the man them are ready still.
Look, man,
If something ever
Rexdale's cool. Like Rexdale's, it's fine.
Rexdale
you know?
is it. We
Like-
set the trends over there, bro.
Like the movie with the clown, because like
Oh, don't do that.
I'm playing. No. Rexdale's cool. I never spent a lot of time in. I haven't spent a lot of time in Rexdale. I have some family out there.
Yeah, all right.
I've spent more time in Brampton actually.
Don't do that.
I,
Big up Brampton, big up Brampton, big up Brampton, big up Brampton. Big up everybody.
Brampton's doing.
Big
their
up
thing.
everybody in the city. Yeah,
Brampton's doing that thing.
GTA.
Yeah. Brampton's
Shout out
doing
all the
that
car insurance companies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that money.
Yeah, man. So not too much time. I stayed in Toronto, in Scarborough, went downtown a lot, and just kind of like fell in love with the energy and the vibe, you know? So I didn't really go too far west.
Like Rexdale, the West End is always what set the
Shout out Bazooka Joe, man. Ultimate martial arts. No. That's a big thing in Scarborough.
trained there.
Yeah, eh?
Same.
trained there, yeah.
I was out there
Yeah,
with
right.
Paul
Yeah,
Menez
yeah.
and all them.
You
I
some martial arts?
was in Muay Thai for 4 years.
Boom.
Yo,
Boom.
and you see at this
Before
point,
it was Bazooka Joe.
You see how you started softening up there? You ain't talking so tough now, right?
yeah, but
I'm from the West. All of a sudden.
Don't worry about it. I got you. Don't worry.
firstly, my belts are on the wall. Secondly, I told you what it is already. Like, don't ramp with me around
Can
here,
you
bro.
picture Bun? Can you picture Bun grabbing that fork up and like start trying to poke?
Yeah, maybe eating with it. Not
Stay back.
belts.
Anyway, so SB, what do you want to hear more of? His talents, like what he's done industry wise, or
Yo, I'm just here for the company, bro. Like whatever you want to share, whatever you're open up to.
yeah. So even just going back to, I guess, us like being around each other every so often, and knowing where you're at now in life.
Yeah.
I've always known you have an interesting perspective on life yourself.
Mhm.
So we had introduced the idea of having you on here with us, and Knots and I were very much like, oh yeah, like Andre would definitely be or Dre, I should say. We'll bleep that out.
Whatever. I don't care.
Would definitely be someone that we should tap into. And then you and SB had an opportunity to meet. What was that, going back a month ago, maybe, no? Or
About
give or-
that.
give or
more.
take.
I think a little more than a month, maybe.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
You
I think I was on my way to New York, so I think that's August. I think it was
Yeah,
like August.
I think it was
hadn't
August.
started. Yeah.
playing dominoes together. Were you guys playing dominoes together, or are you just someone who's just watching? Or?
No, we're playing.
Yeah, you can fuck with dominoes?
Get out of here, bro.
Yeah, eh? You see the dice board though, right? Like we'll be in here for hours sometimes.
I see that. Is it loot? Like, what do you guys play?
CeeLo?
Okay.
Well, you know about that CeeLo from the Eastern, huh?
From a long time ago, but I haven't played in years.
Oh, how do you play? Do you play 4, 5, 6 automatic win?
Yeah.
Trips is trips automatic win, or somebody could beat your trips whatever you roll?
No, I don't know. I didn't play with them like specific rules. It was
'Cause
just
some-
like
We used to just roll. If you roll trips, just take the money because the
It
odds
depends.
of
It depends.
that's how I used to roll when I was in high school because
nah.
the odds of you beating that trips are very low.
depends on what the trip is.
So it's exactly. But at that point, it's like, do I want to waste my time watching you roll 7 more times to try to hit something bigger than my trips?
Okay.
Or I mean, like, well, to roll a 4, 5, 6 or something.
the amount of times trips have been destroyed, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, the last time we played, sure.
I don't want to talk about that.
Only going
Exactly.
I don't want to talk about that right
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. I got some footage, so I might post it on Instagram. Like,
Do it. Post it.
hell, bro,
Me bad.
don't ramp with me. I'll do it. And Knots wasn't here for it, but I was out here talking my shit.
Yo, he was talking his shit and backing it up. It's fucking embarrassing.
I would
Trust
love
Don't post it. You know what's like, yo, it got to the point where like I started pushing him over, like trying to get into his energy space.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
Shout out Charlie. She was here. She was here for some of that too.
It cost me money.
I don't know. I feel like I want to talk a bit more about you and what you've done in the industry.
What
Like,
do you?
well,
Yeah.
so you graduated Centennial,
Yeah.
and then what was after that? Like
So
fresh out the gate, you went into
Well, while I was still in Centennial, one of our other classmates, Mike Mitty, him and I started a business.
okay.
Jermaine and I started a business in second year called Memcasis. It was me, Jermaine, Justin, Moy, and
Shout out Justin. Yeah.
yeah, shout out Justin and our other friend Mike. And then we started doing like videos and like music videos, and then we tried to do an event
Nice.
for Charlie Black, who's from Rexdale as well.
Yeah.
And then we tried to do, so we did the music video, and then we
Oh,
tried
Charlie's
to.
from Rex originally? Charlie's not
I
from
thought
Rex.
he
Yeah,
was from Rex, my bad.
Nah.
My bad.
Charlie's the homie though. Yeah, shout out Charlie. Shout out Charlie for sure.
Okay,
If
okay.
you don't stream his music, you know what? Charlie's a man I should probably add to some of my playlists too,
Yeah.
because he's a Toronto man. Yeah.
Mhm,
Shout out Charlie Black. Go check out some of his music. But
yeah, man. So
continue.
we did a video for Brown Flags.
Mhm.
Was it Brown Flags? And then Fitted Low. Jermaine did Brown Flags for school.
I do remember
Fitted
this
Low.
song. I remember Fitted Low.
And then we shot it inside New Era, which was on Queen.
Mhm.
And then we took that video
Mhm.
and then we said, why don't we create an event around it to promote the video and also like do an event?
Mhm.
And we quarterbacked that event. We went and got a venue. We got performers, sponsors, and we got about 300 to 400 people in the venue. And we got
What?
people. We had New Era was sponsoring. We
Yeah,
gave out like Visa gift cards and stuff. Jermaine and Justin shot it. So anyway, we did that, and then at the end of school, I started a business with my friend Mike. I call him Mike. He goes by Mitty. And it was to go to businesses, to go to clubs, really. That was our way in the industry. And go to them and say, we're going to do a video of the party for you to promote online. Because at this time, this is in 2009, 2008. Nobody was doing this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
YouTube wasn't actually owned by Google. It was like a startup.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah,
startup.
yeah.
So we did that. And then that turned into a business. And we did that business for about 2 years. I always wanted to have my own TV show where I was hosting and producing because I wanted to be a producer in the industry.
Mhm.
So I said, why don't I create a show around what we're already doing? And then Mike's like, cool, let's do it. So I basically took our best videos, wrote a treatment for a TV show, and then pitched that to a network and said, I want to do the show for your network. And I was maybe 22 at the time, still
Some
graduate.
Nick Cannon shit, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, man. I could not, I was tunnel vision.
Mhm.
There was no failing. Like failure wasn't even in my brain. And so I did. And then after a couple conversations, we were at the network signing an autograph, signing a contract for a 1-year deal, 1-season deal. And a season was 26 episodes.
26?
Yes.
Ooh.
Now that's a lot. Like,
Yeah. What's
Whoa,
the time?
yeah.
What's the time on that?
well, they were like a 1 year. So in a year's time, we want 26 episodes from you.
Mhm.
And I'm 22.
No, I mean
what?
like how long is the episode?
Good question. So the episode, so what we did was I thought that it was a better way to get into a network by pitching an interstitial. So an interstitial is a TV show cut down to 2.5 to 5 minutes.
Okay,
and it
gotcha.
runs in between shows.
Okay.
So one show ends, you watch this interstitial, and then another show starts.
Mm.
So I'm like, it's easier to pitch a 2.5 to 3 5-minute show than it is to pitch a half-hour show.
No,
Eventually,
facts.
I'll get the half-hour show.
Still a great start.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
dope.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
sort of my thinking. So I pitched.
That's like a comedian. Like you're starting with the smaller bits and then you're slowly growing.
I'll do a
it out.
15-minute set.
Yeah.
Then I'll get the half-hour set. Then I'll get an hour set.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I got you.
yeah.
No, dope.
So we signed that, and then Mike and I were like, "How do you produce a show? Like, we're like, how do we do this? This is crazy."
I love that.
So-
That's dope.
That,
Learning on the job, man. Learning on the job.
That's what we did.
Yeah,
get the money and then try to figure it out after, yo.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people do that though. Yeah.
Shout out all these rappers out here who can't figure it out, yo. Like,
Yeah.
look at G Herbo. Look where he's at right now. Like,
Yeah.
anyways.
You know, we were talking about independent artists earlier, right?
Yeah.
So then I knew that what I had promised them was that it was going to be an interview with me, and on the other side was going to be a celebrity. And typically the celebrity would be somebody that's traveling through Toronto, so we could get them.
Yeah.
David Guetta,
On a
Calvin
press run.
Harris.
That's what a press run
Exactly.
is.
They're on a press run.
Yeah,
So
that's what all this is. Jada.
Yeah.
Shout out everything she's doing right now.
Oh, you guys
but
want to get into that?
we may or may not. We may or may not, but that's all this
It'll
is. It's a press
surprise.
run.
It'll surprise you. But go
Yeah,
on.
yeah. And then so we had to get an interview with like David Guetta. I
Yeah.
hear he's coming to town, but I had no idea how to do that. So then
Yeah.
one of our boys in the network, his name is Declan. Shout out to Declan. He really helped me early on in my career and like believed in us and gave us an opportunity and said, why don't you come with us? Let's see how you are on set. Why don't you talk to him after we're done kind of thing. We get half an hour with him. You can take the last 5 minutes. And I'm like, cool. So my first interview ever of all time was with David Guetta. And it was like in
Only going up this year.
it was in Yorkville, and that was my first time dealing with and David Guetta
Money,
was
money,
huge.
money, money.
Yeah, it was in York, yeah. And David Guetta was huge in 2010. Like he
Yeah.
was massive,
Yeah.
right?
I probably have his album, but just
Yeah.
never told anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, he's dope, man. And that was it. And we did that. We did that for another 2.5 years. We signed a contract for another season. And then we just sort of like went into the industry after that.
You rewind it for a minute though, right?
Go ahead.
So when you say this is post Centennial, but what's the inspiration? What made you say, "Yo, I'm going to Centennial in the first place for this program"? Was it just a coincidence? Are you looking up to somebody? How does that work?
I want to say it was a coincidence, but how did I? So I had applied to Seneca, I had applied to Ryerson, and I applied to Centennial.
Yeah.
And Ryerson was what I really wanted.
Yeah.
But then, because RTA, I've heard about the program. It's a famous program. I checked it out, and financially, it wasn't going to work, even with wha'SUP.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. At the time, I was going to another high school than the one that I started at because they have a TV program. So I'm there to do internships and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like 18. And then, I don't know. I guess I applied to Centennial and Seneca. Centennial answered first. And then Seneca had to do some tests. But just something about Centennial, I guess, when I went, I had to go in and get the papers and stuff. I think Centennial just spoke to me more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Like, what was it? I don't know.
For me, it's funny we got into this because I got into Humber.
Okay.
And Humber was across the street.
Oh.
But same thing. They got back to me after. And Humber, I would have been doing more of I got in for journalism, and I don't think they had gotten back to me about broadcasting yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I ended up going to Centennial. But Centennial was a trek and a half. Because again, I'm coming from Rexdale. I'm taking a bus, a train from Kipling Station all the way to Pape. And then walking from the station, or I would go to Broadview. Not Broadview, damn it.
Donlands?
Mortimer.
Yeah, you'll take the bus.
No.
What? What's the one before Pape?
Donlands. Or Chester.
No, man. Chester. You know why? Because Chester, I'm giving away my secrets right now, but Chester was like a quiet station. It's one of those, the operator ain't even there.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the milli way to go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see nobody. I'd rather I would walk to Chester. Yeah, I'd walk to Chester.
Is this why I never saw you?
Yo, but people wonder, say, yo, where's Bun? Like, what? Like, I was just in my own world. I was always quiet. Like, I don't know. So I'd walk to Chester. But the trek to get that school, people don't know what that journey is like, bro. Middle of winter. I'd be on the train editing my videos. That's how dedicated I was to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, I did a year at Ashtonby. So I'm going from Kipling to Warden. Middle of winter. And these Canadian winters ain't easy sometimes, yo.
Like, we all have crazy stories like that. Like, Jermaine's got the craziest stories.
Oh, yeah.
Knott's got the craziest stories.
Oh, the one that I love is his highway story. One day we'll talk about that on here, but we'll leave that for another day. We'll leave that one for another day.
Hadouken!
Yeah.
But yeah, Centennial, I don't know. There's the vibe that came with that place.
We were all dogs.
Yeah.
We were all dogs in there, man. Weren't we just dogs? Like, everybody wanted it more than everyone else. We just wanted it, yo.
Late nights editing.
All of
that
us.
lab until forever.
That was the vibe.
Yeah.
3 a.m. It's like booked.
Yeah.
Everyone's in there working. I'm telling you, man, it was like survival of the fittest, but we were all like, yo, we're all going to get it. Like, we know that the strongest will survive. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
That was just the vibe in our school. It was like, okay, that person dropped out. Wasn't tough enough. We just kept it moving. I don't think we even talked to anybody that like, other than like maybe Chris Strikes or some people that like really did something, but the people that dropped out and just like
figured it out and did some other stuff.
I don't know if you talk to them anymore. Like, I just reconnected with somebody, but I don't know. Not that we're better or worse. It's just, we just had a certain mindset, you know?
Yeah. And there were, like I said, Chris and I were about to, like, the plan was to drop out together.
Yeah.
But I stuck with it, and
yeah,
he didn't come back. It was a long weekend, but he went on to do a bunch of music videos.
Chris Wong too, right?
Yeah, him. Yeah,
Chris Wong's dope.
That was another reason I wanted to have you on here, because to talk about the things that happen behind the scenes in the industry. Everybody's always so fascinated with the celebrities that they see on camera, but there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes in order to make that happen, to make them look good, to make sure their angles are right. And there's effort that goes into that stuff, whether you're editing, whether you're the technical director, whether you're the producer. But some people will never know what that perspective actually looks like.
See, like, this is another reason why I'm like, we could get into the whole Jada thing. because we have a certain way to look at her, but she's giving you her behind the scenes of how it was getting into Hollywood.
Yeah.
How she would meet certain people like it's nothing, and they're on their verge of becoming a star or already are a star. And she's just talking about like it's casual people, but these are people that we look up to. So to me, it's the same thing. As you guys go on to develop in your industry, and in the same way that you're referring to Chris Strikes, where you're speaking to somebody where you're pitching them an idea, but you could bring up someone that's a peer and a colleague, but they are, credited as well, and to the point where this person's impressed. These stories are heavy, man.
So
Hadouken!
after that initial pitch, then what was next for you? Where'd you go from there?
Did the show. That was it. Mike decided to stay at the network and continue to edit. It was consistent income. It was full time. It made sense.
Nice.
I'm like, all right, because I was a host producer. They already had a producer and they already had a host.
This for the club?
The TV network that we're now on.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
So it was like this weird battle because the management wanted me to host, but then the producer wanted the other guy to host. So it was like who has the power? So I bounced. And then I wrote another show and pitched another show to Rogers. And this time it was a half an hour show, which was and I used that former show as sort of basis to say, I've done this. I've been successful at this level. Here's why you should give me money for a show. Here's why you should invest in me. And I got another producer that I know to kind of help massage that relationship.
Yeah. And
they decided to go ahead with me, give me a 1-year deal for this half-hour show that I created called On the Dot. And the idea of On the Dot was that it was supposed to be like E-Talk meets fashion television. And we cover social media. At the time, it was still new and bubbling. It's 2014. So we cover current events, social media, fashion, music, lifestyle, and then something to do with Toronto, right? So we would go to a new boutique. I had a fashion host. I had a music host. I had a lifestyle host. So the lifestyle host would be somebody that would just go and ask people a question, right? And then the music host would go to a concert, and then the fashion host would do some fashion segment.
You know what I'm hearing right now? You're kind of like what these new speakers on TikTok or social media platforms are before that was even an option.
Yeah.
Because you're going back to 2014 right now, where none of these things really exist to that level.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, 2013, 2014, yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's
like seeing the trend before it's a real trend. That's awesome, man. Yeah. And being able to capitalize on it. What was one of the highlights there? Any crazy story or?
Oh, there's lots of crazy. There's lots of crazy.
Talk about it.
Man.
Do you have any good industry stories about some real
I have
smut on some celebrities?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I have a 1-2 story still. I have a 1-2.
Of course.
I have a 1-2, but I imagine you would probably have a hell of a lot.
I have. Oh my god. Well, you have to consider, right? I went to Miami and interviewed Steve Aoki, right? Backstage during Music Week, and I remember. I mean, this really isn't a story for him. It's more of a story for me. It's a crazy story, but I was led into this party through the back door, and the door's facing Miami Beach. So my boy's
not the back door.
Yeah. So it's that.
Not the back door.
My bad.
That's
my
a
bad,
pause.
my bad.
We pause around here.
My bad. That was wild.
Yeah.
That was out of pocket. That was out of pocket.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to interrupt. So continue.
The exit,
okay,
if you will. So my boy Declan, shout out Declan, let me in the exit. Everybody was coming through the hotel, but he's like, I'll get you in through the exit. So I come in. It's a special exit, and this small Irish guy is bringing me in. So people thought I was famous because this is Miami Music Week, big time hotel. Steve Aoki's upstairs, you know what I mean? It's one of those. So
yeah, did you start feeling yourself too?
Yeah, exactly. No. Good question. Good question.
Right now.
Good question. Good question.
A little bit.
Good question. Because your stride changes. Your stride changes a little bit.
So I walk in, and then immediately all the cameras turn and start taking pictures of me.
I know. I know. Yeah.
And then I hear another photographer's do you know who this is? And they're like, no, just take pictures.
Exactly.
And they're all just
trust me, yo. Trust me, yo.
Pictures.
Trust me. I know. Yeah.
What's the pose? You just walking casually?
Yo, cash.
Your stride just changes.
Yeah.
Your stride, you feel it. Your stride just changes. You have no control over it.
Yo,
Your stride just changes.
See,
That's all that it is.
I'm foolish. If I'm in that situation, I would do something silly. Like I would be like I'd start posing for the camera or something like that. No,
I had my sunglasses on. I had my Toronto fitted on. And I was just like
I'm used. Oh, you played it even better.
it was like I walked to the bar and it was like this. It was like
you're like I'm used to it.
yeah, kind of yeah. You know,
Line it up. That's just another day. Moo.
But hear what?
That's like Moses walking into the bar.
But then hear what? 99% of those people don't ever see you again.
Never.
But you live that moment.
never.
I hear you.
Never.
That's what's crazy about it, yo.
Yeah. Oh, I was interviewing Calvin Harris. This was one of my first interviews. I'm interviewing Calvin Harris at what was Sound Academy, now is Rebel, and one of my questions was about Lady Gaga because I knew that he hated Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me interview this guy and I'll talk to him, and we're talking, we're laughing, new album, like how's the, and at the time, this was when Calvin Harris was brand new. So it was him and his manager. That was it. That's all he could afford.
Yeah, you're just saying these names like they're nothing.
Exactly.
Oh, I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, 'cause
Exactly.
But go on.
it's funny. That's actually something Mike and I.
This guy is used to those pictures on him.
But SB, I promise you, people have no idea what that perspective actually is because he's out here downplaying like I'm still just Dre at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Bro, you handled what, a $3.5 million budget? And people would never know.
15 actually.
50, bruh.
Only going up this year.
Even the
A
musicians'
50
names.
he handles a $15 million budget.
Boom.
That's what he's responsible for. He is a somebody out here.
Yo, give me the autograph.
But to him, it's like, yo, you get what I mean? You get what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're still just Dre.
You know what, guys? Like, to be honest with you, what's allowed me to get to this level was a deep sense of appreciation and a high level awareness of self. Right? Like one of the things that I talk to people a lot about, especially in my industry, is like this black kid asked me, like, how do you walk into rooms the way that you do and just kind of do the thing that you do? And I'm like,
It takes a while to figure out.
It takes so long to figure out, but it didn't have to take as long as it did because we weren't starting from an advantageous position. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I do know what you're saying.
Preach.
You're saying
Preach.
Are you saying from a mental standpoint as well? Just to be clear.
From a mental, geographical, cultural standpoint, right?
You.
Like,
I got you.
There's so many things that factored into, and some of us figure it out, and some of us don't. You know, and the ones that do tend to end up in better positions in life because
That's a fact.
These things hold you back. So
it's your ability to adapt to the situation, right? It might not be your upbringing or your norms, but you better fit into this right now if you're trying to go this lane or stay in this lane. Yeah,
exactly.
I got that. Go on. It's dope.
Yeah. So, and I told this kid, I was like, self-love. Like when I understood self-love, when I understood how to love me no matter what, because when you start in the industry, and especially ours, it's so flashy. In the beginning, you're just kind of trying to prove yourself, right? You're trying to prove yourself. You're trying to prove other people wrong, right? Because it takes a while to start up. So your motivation almost comes from a bad place because you're operating out of fear.
I want to check in real quick. So you're saying in the beginning, you're basically doing whatever you're doing to please someone else opposed to pleasing yourself.
Yeah,
Am
but
I hearing that right?
Yeah, but you don't know that.
I got you.
You're just motivated.
I just want to make sure
what I
that's what you're saying.
Yeah. And then when I learned, therapy helped, obviously growing up and experiences. But when you learn self-love and you learn what your real, true motivation is, that's when things change. And that's when things change for me. And that's why I'm able to talk about Calvin Harris like he's just a guy.
Exactly.
Or $15 million, because that doesn't define me,
Exactly.
It's important and it's an accolade and it's a milestone, but that doesn't define me. I'm not attached to that. It's an accomplishment and I appreciated it. But part of the reason I'm able to do these things and move on to the next one is that I'm not attached to it. I realize that this can be taken away from me at any moment. You know what I mean?
Yo, we got like 2-3 Adukits, all right? So I'm just going to say them all at once. Like I'm just knocking them out right now. First one, I still want to hear that interview where you talked to him about Lady Gaga, right?
Right.
And then the second one, so I don't forget, is also, is this new thought process post or pre-therapy? So both of those, but yeah.
I
mean, I ain't no less than Calvin Harris, just saying that.
I don't know. Where do you want me to start? I can.
How'd that interview? Yeah, the Lady Gaga thing.
So Calvin Harris. So Calvin Harris. I'm doing an interview with him, and I know that he doesn't like I don't know that he doesn't like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
So I decide at one point if he would. I'll find a creative way to get into it. So I asked him if he would ever do a track with Lady Gaga, right? Because we started to talk about collaborations, and at this time in his career, Calvin Harris didn't work with anybody. He produced all his stuff. He did all his own vocals. He didn't want to. He had a hard time working with people. Now, obviously, it's way different.
Yeah.
But at this time, he was just a solo artist. Didn't want to work with anyone. That was his problem. He was J. Cole, and then he's like, I don't. He got so awkward. He didn't want to say anything about her. He didn't want to talk about her at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not? You don't like Lady Gaga or something? And I just kept pushing.
Yeah, I love that.
I just kept pushing his buttons. I just kept pushing his buttons.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we don't really have to talk about. And it was just visibly awkward. And Mike was loving it. He was shooting. He was loving it. And I just was like. So I don't know. There's that. I don't know. There's a bunch, man. There's a bunch.
Flip to the next point then.
Yeah.
The therapy component.
Yes.
So you're like, I didn't learn any of this or my purpose until the self-love, where I don't care about the $15 million budget. I could say it like it is, or even the Calvin Harris story. But where'd that start? Where you're like, that self-love, if you will. Therapy, post-therapy?
It started pre-therapy, and then it sort of kicked into high gear post-therapy.
That makes
right?
sense. Yeah.
If any of you have done therapy, I think you guys have. If you guys have ever done therapy, even if you're out there, you learn so much about yourself, and you learn that there were parts of you that you were avoiding, right? But you didn't even really know that you were avoiding it because you didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
But you didn't have the depth yet to identify it. So there's so many things that I learned about myself post. But anyway, I read a lot of books. I read a lot of self-help books. I've always been sort of spiritual in that way, where if I put effort into something and I put positivity into something, it'll grow. So I've always kind of been that kind of person. And then reading the right books, meeting the right people, getting older, having more experiences, I'm the type of person that has what I would consider a growth mindset, because I'm constantly learning. Whenever something doesn't go well or go my way, I'm always thinking about, well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to deal with that again. So what can I learn from that? What can I take from that? So that when it does happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're already prepared for it, or you're going to do the most so that it doesn't happen in the first place.
Right.
Yeah, and the more you do it, you're reassigning yourself.
Yeah.
There's always a new task to be added. And like Not's can attest to this, because the growth for us to even get to where we're at right now, bruh. Nobody would know what that grind actually was like. SB was here for like a majority of it too, but it takes a lot. Yeah. But you have to start somewhere and continue doing it.
Even to understand, what went wrong. This reminds me of, we always talk, Elon Musk's book's out right now, right? So I'm on 4 or 5 of them right now. So I'm reading his new one too. I'm on that shit heavy.
Pause.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, pause for real. He's in that exact mode where he's got Tesla going and he's got SpaceX going at the same time. He's basically talking to his engineers because they're all going by these requirements based off NASA. Some of these things are obsolete. The point of them doesn't even make sense. So they're making all these rockets of materials and spending so much extra money on the way that they used to be made, that's no longer cost efficient for him to make it. So he's finding hinges that they're using for, I don't know, rockets that you could find on a car, which is for, instead of spending 15 million, it's costing him 5,000. These kind of advancements. So when you say stuff like that, where you're looking to improve on it, man, you have to. There's so many things to gain from that. Even the experience of it, nothing's a loss at that point. That's how you're moving.
And I guess from our industry standpoint, I would even apply that to myself now, because traditionally I'm a technical director in the industry. I've been doing this for, I don't even know how long, maybe 12, 13 years. But imagine I was doing that in a controlled space that was run by these major companies in the city. I'm not gonna shout them out because I'm not plugging them on my thing.
You gotta pay like everyone else.
Exactly.
That's elite pettyism.
Call it what you want, but
I think it's an excellent branding. But go on.
Going back to a conversation we were having earlier, understanding the business side of all of this.
Boom.
Going through the steps that I took, because I, much like you, went to Centennial, graduated. While I was there, I interned at MLSE. So I spent some time in the traffic department. And what the traffic department does is once the sales guys sell TV time to these big corporate companies, Kraft, Tim Hortons, name it, whoever you want, the traffic department goes and plugs them into the broadcast itself. And they were the ones that build the commercial breaks and all of that stuff. So the sales guys sell all the spots. We have all these orders in from Kraft, Tim Hortons, whoever. And now it's like, okay, we have 7 spots to fill to run a Burger King ad. Here's where we're going to run the Burger King ad because they paid for that second break of the Toronto Raptors game during Milwaukee on October 24th. You get what I mean? So we plug all of that stuff in. So I understood what commercial breaks meant, where they come from the sales department. That's how they make their money. And what do? They put together their content, which is the, let's say, Your Morning, the ET Canada, or whatever these. I don't even know half of these shows. I don't even watch TV, but
The Social.
Yeah, name it, all of them.
Yeah.
So they produce the content, and that's the production team that does that stuff. So once you're able to piece all these things together, you understand how the industry works, and you just get to a point and say, I'd rather do this for myself. But right now, again, going back to where you're at, you're producing at Canada's Got Talent.
Yeah, so Canada's Got Talent was this year. I did that I did that for a year. It ended in June. And then I started another show called the Legacy Awards. It's on CBC.
Yeah.
So
I've heard,
yeah. So I did 2 live shows this year, right? Each over $1 million, one over 10 million. And so
10 million what?
Dollars. Sorry.
Boom, there we go.
My bad.
That's all good.
Only going up this year.
we're not talking Bitcoin out here. We're not talking Bitcoin out here. But
I just wanted to be clear for everybody.
yeah.
I appreciate that. By the way, before we get too far, we keep talking about Centennial and how far we've come and all these things. I just want to say congrats to you guys, man. I just big up to y'all.
Thank you.
You know
Appreciate
what I'm saying,
that.
man?
Thank you.
You know what I mean? It's hard.
Bro, pause. But
Yo,
trust me, I feel it.
Cam and Mace.
That's a pause too, but I feel it. You know where it comes from.
Yes.
Like you know the grind.
Yes.
You know what the industry's like. You know what it takes. You know what kind of equipment there is.
Yes.
You know the standards to it all. Like
There was a time where someone would say something to me in the form of a compliment where I can't even accept it fully. Where you're saying, yo, good for you. You're at this point where I'd be like, you just brush it off like it's nothing. But honestly, I appreciate that, man. Especially that you stopped the whole conversation to say that.
Yeah.
and
Thank you. Come again.
Yeah.
on some Nipsey shit, bro. All independent, bro.
Yeah.
All money and all independent, yo.
You know what I notice about things like this, even from the business adventures that you took, endeavors that you took beforehand, right? From starting from 2.5 minutes to getting to 30 minutes to doing all these things. Look how much you're constantly learning from all these little experiences. You could give advice to a young person that's in Centennial right now or somewhere. What's that advice? Because the demographic has changed a little bit.
At one point, you were teaching, no?
I was teaching.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I taught college. Yeah, I taught at Durham College.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would never go back to it?
100% I would.
Yeah, long term, you
100%
think that's
I would.
like in...
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to be a teacher and a mentor and things like that.
Nice.
I think one of my favorite quotes is by Maya Angelou. Sorry, I'll let you get to your thing, but one of my favorite quotes is by Maya Angelou, and she says, "If you learn, give. If you learn, teach. If you get, give." That's one of my favorite quotes, and I think that's how we should live. What's the point of us learning all this if we're not going to go and tell some other kid how to do it better than we did it?
This kind of ties into what you initially said too, where you might not have certain things because of your demographic or whatever, your environment, that you weren't necessarily on the same path or you didn't have the same advantages as someone else, or you couldn't, adjust to it. But now you're kind of giving that game to someone else to learn, What's your favorite book? This is my moment personally where I feel like this guy might just
Books
throw me
galore,
something,
trust me,
I just want to know what I love
He
what
lives-
people are reading. I always random. I'm always asking.
One of my favorite books is called Psycho-Cybernetics.
Boom.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've gone through that, man.
It's What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, Psycho-Cybernetics, The Power of Habit, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That book changed my life. Also, Way of the Superior Man, incredible book.
Boom.
Incredible book.
It's ran through. Yo, keep going.
Yeah. Was that a pause?
No.
Okay.
Trust me, he said, we're not playing with this game anymore. We're very we're not cutting any corners. Like the smallest thing you're pausing on.
Okay.
So,
All right. Cool. Cool.
What I wanted to ask you, because you said mentors.
Yes.
Did you have one? Throughout college and university and even now, do you still have one currently?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I always have had a mentor. By the way, I've always had a mentor. Okay. Like there's never been a time.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I love that you're saying that. I think it's huge. I think that's a huge part of your success, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, man. I've been so there's one guy who was my first mentor, if you don't mind me talking about it. There was one guy, I was interning, this is before I went to college. I'm interning at this place called Videoscope. It's not around anymore. It's a video rental place. It's like Vistec.
Okay.
So I'm in the back working with the cameras and doing all the rentals before they go out. And then when they come in, I'm fixing the cameras. And I'm working with this Italian man who's a camera operator himself. And he and I are working together in the back. And through the process of getting to know him, he taught me so much about just like life and the industry. And he believed in me so much. I said I wanted to be a host at the time. I wanted to be a Much Music VJ. He believed in me so much that he said, let's go downtown Saturday. I'll bring my camera and we'll record your Much Music demo tape. So
that guy out, yo.
And we went downtown. He brought his camera. He brought his light. And it's Young and Dundas Square in 2004.
Before the big screens?
Yeah,
before
man.
all those lights.
Before everything, man. Before everything. Sears was there.
Before that, Jesus!
Sears was there.
You know that guy that stands in the corner?
Oh, yeah. The Jesus guy. Believe!
If you're from the city, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But that guy used to run that corner,
the Believe guy.
That was his block.
Yeah. What else was there?
I wonder what his name is. I would love to know what that guy's name is.
Rockwell was in the corner. If you went to Rockwell, Rockwell was over there. So anyway, we did
HMV was still over there.
HMV, Music World.
Yeah.
You know, Sunrise, I think was still, anyway. So we did that. He edited it and gave it to me. And now I had a Much Music demo tape. All I had to do was get it into Much Music. But just the fact that somebody early on in my life saw something in me and believed in it and said, I'm going to help you like grow this flower. So he was my mentor for a number of years. It was kind of like a rich dad, poor dad thing. And then I had another mentor in the next internship that I went to. His name was Joe Woodward. And he ended up becoming my mentor for the next 10 or so years. And he was somebody that I could go to and ask questions, and he'll answer. He'll take time. I'll ask him to go to lunch. He'll have me, you know what, I can't leave, but if you want to bring something, sure. And I would just sit across his desk and like, how do I sell a show? How do I like pitch a show to a network? What do I need? And he's like, do you have this? And I'm like, no. And he's like, go get it. And I'm like, all right. And I'll go get it. And then I'd show up 2 years later. I'm like, all right, I have a TV show. Now I don't know what to do. And he's like, all right, we'll do this. And I'm like, what's that? And he's like, go figure it out. And I'm like, all right. And then I would go do that. And I'd come back 10 years later. I'm like, yo, I'm producing for Canadian Tire now. And he's like, great. Like, you're in advertising now. This is a different space. And so that was him. And now there's a guy that I met. His name is Jeff Kopp. He is a 5-time Emmy Award-winning producer in the States. And
only going up this year.
Yo, them Monday, yo.
Yeah.
5 times.
Levels.
Yo, if you guys ever seen...
Only going up this year.
If you guys ever saw James Corden, if you guys ever watched James Corden, the Late Late Show, so there's like Jimmy Kimmel, there's Jimmy Fallon, there's Conan O'Brien, and then there's James Corden. James Corden is from the UK. He came over to the United States and he had a late show called The Late Late Show.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, he was incredible. Jeff produced that show.
I'm not up that late, but
yeah, because it came on at like 11:30 or something. So he produced that show, and he won 5 Grammys. 5 Emmys. So he's one of my mentors now. He helped me get through Canada's Got Talent.
That's amazing.
That's no joke because he's still blowing up. Sorry, I just have to go look quickly to see the picture, but
James Corden,
huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't even realize it because I'm like in it. So when you're in something like fatherhood, you can't stop and think you're in fatherhood. You just got to like figure it out day to day. That's kind of what it's like. I don't know what being a dad is like, obviously, but
still practicing, huh?
Still practicing.
Practice? You want to talk about you want to talk about practice?
Shut up, Iverson, man. They tried everything they could to get rid of him.
Yeah, trust me, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big up Iverson wherever he's at, yo.
Yeah, big up Iverson.
But he's still out here practicing.
Yeah.
You'll
just
get there
practice.
eventually.
We'll see.
We can talk about it real quick. You like on the market, like what's up? If any ladies want to holler, like you available, not so available, yo, bro.
Hey, I got an idea for the show.
Only going
Dating with Dre.
You know what? Plug your Instagram one more time and we'll take a quick break because I didn't fill up my cup, so I'm trying to get something to drink. Plug your Instagram one more time.
Ladies. My Instagram is its_Dre_. Holler at your boy.
And on that note, we're gonna take a quick break and be right back. If you're in the GTA and need your car detailed, visit Speckless Pro Auto Detailing. They specialize in both exterior and interior cleaning, including headlight restoration and salt stain removal. Book online at www.specklessprodetailing.com or call 416-262-0702. Don't accept anything less. Visit Speckless.
everything, boss. Only going up this year. Only going up this year.
Big up Lazy Jah. So he goes by the name Lazy Jah. You can find him on Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere you stream music, YouTube. But he's from Rex, yo. That song for me that's one of those ones. Mm-hmm. Like I was saying in the car, Major Lazer, Get Freeze, one of those songs are my top 5. Mm-hmm. That song's definitely in my top 10 all time. And it just so happens that he's from like my neighborhood. Like I know him personally.
That's your top 10 song?
That's definitely one of my top. Like I'll play that late. Like trust me, when I'm 57, 60, I'll still be listening to that Lazy Jah song.
57. That's like,
bro. I'm telling like when I'm old, bro. Like that's one of those.
That's such a specific age. That's why it's just.
We've had a conversation on here. One of the question was if you could just pick one song. If God said you can only listen to one song for the rest of your life, you have to choose one song.
That's a ridiculous question.
Exactly. But I want you to think about it. Because I have a song that, you could play that back to back to back. I'll never get tired of it. Wow. Juicy. Biggie Smalls. Wow. I can listen to that song over and over again.
It's a great song.
It's a great that's song. Life right there. That just summed it all up for me.
Is it better?
It was all a dream.
Is it better than Dear Mama Tupac though? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, but like.
That's. Where are you at with that? You're a Tupac fan though.
I'm in the middle of all that, but like like Dear Mama, yeah, Dear Mama, like to listen repeatedly, no, not for me.
Keep your head up. I don't know. I mean, yeah,
it was all a dream.
That's yours, man. That's subjective, right? That's your thing.
You guys are knocking Made You Look, like that could be one of them for me, or The Message by Nas, like that could be another
There's
one.
There's so many. Poison,
Nas, yeah.
I was bumping Poison the other
day. There we go.
You know my problem with Nas.
I don't want to fucking hear it.
We're gonna get into some sports, but now we're gonna do some music. Okay. We'll do a little bit of music. We can do some music.
Let's just have this conversation. Okay?
All right, let's go.
Let's
get this perspective from LeBron James. Let's go.
Let's just have this conversation, guys.
All right.
The problem with Nas is that Nas was never consistent enough. He was James Harden. Right? Like Nas is James Harden. And it's like,
hold on, he was never consistent.
No, never. He was hit or miss. Sometimes he'll drop 40, other times he'll drop 60.
But he made you look.
That's big time. That was big time. That was big time. That was a banger.
Tune in. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, give us our 5-star ratings on whatever.
Yo, but he's also just dropped like 6 albums in the last 2.5 years. If we're talking consistent, you know what I mean?
Anytime you need if you want a Nas playlist, link me because I have those, bro.
I'm good.
Yo, you just suck the energy out of this fucking room, bro.
No, okay, sorry. He just wasn't consistent enough for me.
Fair enough.
I liked consistency. I liked
you're
50
not wrong.
Cent. Jay Z. Like, give me consistent.
You can't
10
respect that. Your whole perspective is whack.
There you go. You
like
made it
how
a
I did
hot
that one
line.
there
I
too,
made
right?
it a hot song.
Bro,
Like, come on,
I'm telling
man.
you,
Come on,
man. I'm telling you.
Come on. Who
yeah,
does
he
that?
came with the ether, but yo,
Who does that?
There's no but after that.
Who does
There's
that?
no but. He
Who
came
says
with the
something
ether.
like that? You're twisted.
because you're a hip hop head, let me give you one more. 'Cause that's how deep this like.
Hold on. One quick interruption though. Yo, shout out Juvie. 25-year anniversary right now. 400 degrees, man. So yeah.
400 degrees, he said. Whoa.
Yeah.
400
yeah.
degrees, he said.
Shout out Face for bringing that up still.
Yeah, that's what it is outside,
Old school Cash Money, when everybody wanted to be Cash Money.
bro. Daily affirmations.
I feel like
You
he
a
was,
paper chaser. You got your block on fire. You remaining a G until the moment you expire. You know what it is. You make nothing out of something. You handle your biz. Don't be crying and suffering. Those are bars, you know. Those are bars. Those are bars. And that's part of the reason why Jay Z was able to identify that and go jump on that remix with him, yo. Because that was a sick one. And that's what Jay Z used to do. Much of that Drake shit. Jay Z would go find those guys who nobody really knows nothing about, but hear it and be like, oh, I need to go jump on that track with them and turn them up.
he had the perfect roster for that, bro. Memphis Bleak would go looking around for that as well.
Big up Bleak.
You know what
Recently
I mean? So
on
would
Drink Champs
Kanye.
again.
So like they would. He's royalty on that shit.
I
He's
know.
been on it so many times. This is going back to what we're talking about. That's
Yeah.
when like the glasses are right in front of the camera and all of the bottles are spilling and stuff.
Different time.
Yeah.
Different time.
Yeah.
Bro.
But yo, but they had the
Only going up
perfect.
this year.
They had the perfect vision and business plan, bro, on how to just get all the talent from everywhere.
And they did it. They executed. And they were always hot.
Yeah, but Jay Z still knocked him out, or still got knocked out with the ether, though, right? With all that he had behind him, that whole entire squad, that whole group,
Yo,
Nas
like,
came
he and I
all by
was-
himself, and just. They
He
still
and I-
talk about it.
We're
They still
forever-
talk about it.
We're forever gonna go back and
And
You
forth.
then-
guys could do that, but I'm just saying the people that you're talking about talk about it to say how quiet that day was. when it
Nas
dropped,
still
right?
brings up Takeover. That's how bad Takeover was. He brought it up in what? King's Disease 2? Listening to lines from Takeover.
But yo, do you check
telling
the
yo,
line though? But
Hove, the beef ain't over?
Yo, but
That
check,
was-
but check this out. He goes, your idols or your rivals or what does he say again? My song is still on title. Wait. hold on. I want to bring up the point that he makes. Ether is still playing on title when you become brothers with your rivals or some shit like that. So think about it. He's still saying like, yo, this is such a hot track. You still got to play it on fucking title.
But it's on a platform Jay-Z created and then sold. So
That's okay.
It's kind of a loss.
But
Like,
isn't he still getting money for that? Is that not his track though?
yeah, but Jay-Z created the platform that it's on.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Everything.
Why?
Because
That's
if
the money. Are we talking
my
money now?
platform is hot enough that your track has to be on it.
I think it's the other way around. I think my track is hot enough that you got to put it on your fucking shit.
No,
your
because
platform.
if my no,
Thank you.
because
if you have your own whatever it is, you're gonna go looking for music that people want to consume. So Ether's a product that people want to consume. So you got it on your shit.
let's go back. Nope.
Yo, man. You see the level of wit that we put in.
I'm on the ropes. But
I'll give you one last point. Okay. We can't do this forever, but I'll give you one last point.
how many people create platforms that are ignorable? And how many people create platforms that are so unignorable that your label says we have to be on this platform? Jay-Z's platform could have been whack. Like Soulja Boy created game consoles and nobody even knows it.
Yeah.
You know? The Ball brothers are creating a brand of shoes. Nobody cares. Jay-Z created something that was so incredible and so cutting edge because they were hi-fi. Nobody else was doing hi-fi.
No one's debating that part, right?
Yeah.
Like to hit the Hadouken, all I'm saying is Nas lined them all up and just went like that's all I'm saying. Yo, like I'm not testing Jay-Z's
Rockefeller
business.
was over. Rockefeller was over after that. Rockefeller was just over.
Yeah, and then Jay Z became his boss. But anyway, let's move on because no one cares about that, right? He was just the president of the label that Nas was on. But whatever.
It was a good move on Jaws.
Hey, trust me, we can't do this all day. We've got
We've
got the topics we wanted to get to. One of those being the upcoming NBA basketball season, because you are a big basketball fan.
Yes.
You're often referred to as the fake LeBron James. That may have been who those people thought you were, the paparazzi.
Yeah, they probably thought he was a real one, bro. And my man's traveling, so they're snapping those pictures in Turkey too.
Yes.
Is that LeBron James? We didn't know he was coming tonight.
Definitely. Yeah. But I don't know, man. This season's gonna be crazy. This season is going to be.
But who you liking? Like,
it's too early.
how you feel about the Milwaukee?
I like Milwaukee, and I think Milwaukee. Yeah, I think Milwaukee is motivated. I think Giannis is motivated. I think he feels like he got punked in the playoffs. Miami has done nothing. Philly, I don't know what happens.
Back from Miami, yeah, because
Miami hasn't done a damn thing.
Man, them were sitting there waiting on Dame.
Yeah,
never happened. So
and they just said, Urks.
Yeah,
you know, Clippers, Celtics look good. I just don't trust them.
yeah.
I don't trust any of them. You know, Porzingis, is he going to be healthy? Jason Tatum, is he going to fade in the fourth? Jaylen Brown, does he have a left hand? Al Horford, he's a little old.
Oh, definitely.
They lost Robert Williams. They lost Grant Williams. What's their depth look like? Do they have Daniel Tice? Who's the big coming off the bench? Who's stopping Jokic? Right? Like, who's stopping Embiid?
Bro.
Who's stopping Embiid? Who's stopping Bam Adebayo? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm just thinking of who's stopping Miles Turner? You know what I mean? So I just don't trust him. They have a great team defense, great perimeter defense. And then what else is there? That's
Raptors
it.
going on.
Raptors are, I think we're going to surprise teams. I think we'll be frisky. Pause. We'll be like,
I thank you.
We'll be like 9-8. We'll hover. We'll be like the Wizards. We'll take that spot.
You getting your girl a jersey? Or, well,
I mean,
the potential girl, if maybe one might be out there coming soon.
If there's a girl,
because we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. I was like, any Toronto man getting their girl a Raptors jersey right now, you know what it has to be?
What?
That one dick, man.
Ooh. Yo, that's
shout
crazy.
out Grady for choosing that number, yo.
Of course he did.
Man took that number one, yo.
He could have been like 13, which would have been like a dick in the balls, I guess. But that,
man, yo,
you know, but yeah, that would, I hope he's good. Like, I hope he's just not a flashy white kid. Like, I hope he's actually good.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a shooter, so hopefully
we need a shooter.
College range is a little bit different, NBA range, but
we need a shooter.
We definitely need a shooter.
I guess we're gonna find out how many of those jerseys are going around.
Yeah, and like, what do they say? Like, dick for three? Like what are they? They're
gonna come up with some creative shit.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
You think so?
I think they have to.
Yeah,
Matt Devlin.
Only if he was Duncan, though.
Yeah, but from a fan standpoint, like, you think they're good. Yeah, they're gonna have to.
They're just gonna yell out, "I love dick." Pause. But
there's gonna be.
You're saying he's a shooter? Like
he's
3
yeah.
So dick from downtown.
Dick
for three.
You know what'd be amazing? Yo, you know what?
Up there.
Yo, Nats, clip this up.
Stopping dick.
Listen, clip this up, and we have to get this going, bro. I want to see Jack Armstrong and Matt Devlin pause anytime they say something like that. Dick from downtown, that's a pause. And you need to pause on air. I want to hear Jack Armstrong and Matt Devlin say pause on air, please. Gotta do it.
Man.
Gotta do it. Dick from downtown, that's a pause. People are gonna tear up the internet.
Or because you know how they say city, so they might like Dick from Brampton. Dick from Oshawa.
Oh man.
Anybody
Dick's
on
on
Tinder?
fire. There's no stopping Dick.
Dick penetrating.
He penetrates the paint.
They need to up their D on Dick.
Oh my goodness, yo, this can go on forever.
Oh man.
Yo, we are some sick human beings.
Dick with the pick and roll.
Penetrated the hole.
Oh my goodness. This is gonna get. I really hope, man. Somebody, please get word to Jack Armstrong and Matt Devil. We got to get some pauses going during these Raptors games.
We need some of these dick jerseys out here too.
I'm getting a little uncomfortable with how many times we say dick. I'm just saying, we're really close.
yeah,
we're
right.
really close.
Fat Joe set it up. Let's go with it.
We've reached our limit for the day.
We've
reached our limit for the day.
Nah, I think I'm gonna say it like 2-3 more times somewhere. I'll find a way to sneak it in. Pause.
We've reached our limit of dicks for tonight, guys.
Hadouken!
Oh man.
All right.
But how you feel about the West Coast? Who you think coming out of the West?
West Coast is gonna be a movie, man. Like, are the Nuggets gonna repeat?
Mhm.
What are the Suns gonna look like? They don't have a point guard. You know, like are they gonna? You know, and the Lakers, is LeBron gonna get his 5th ring, catch Kobe finally? You know,
I hate
what are
that he's
the?
wearing the Lakers jerseys.
I don't like it. I can't get used to it. You know, what do the Warriors look like? What are like the sleeper teams like Sacramento and like
Yeah.
Timberwolves? Like, what are they gonna do? You know, are they gonna make any noise? So
NBA is getting pretty competitive, and
there's
I like
a lot
that.
of
Yeah, it's
talent.
like, yeah.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
talent, man.
yeah.
Like even Houston, like
The young boys might ball, yo,
Houston's a good-
because they have nothing to lose.
Houston's
have nothing
a
to
good
lose.
team, man.
They have nothing to lose.
And speaking of sleepers, OKC.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Come on, man. They got Chet Holmgren now.
You have Shea on your roster.
You're good.
When you talking about scoring,
You're good.
I'm just a pure scorer. Not you got something this. What you want to chime in on this basketball talk, eh?
No, I'll chime in real quick. You missed one team in the
As a
East.
sleeper?
As a
Or
sleeper.
In these?
Don't sleep on Cleveland.
Yeah, eh?
Don't sleep on Cleveland.
I'm snoozing.
Maxie still over there?
Man. Jared Allen, you got Mobley, who stepped up and practiced a lot, trained a lot this summer. You got Donovan Mitchell. Then you got Darius Garland.
Mhm.
Then they got
He
the boy,
moved on Maxey. Maxey's not
the
over.
shooter from
Max
Indiana,
Strus. Oh,
who was on the Nets.
Oh, Joe Harris? No.
No,
I'm
drawing a blank.
they got a shooter from the Nets?
No. So he was on the Nets. He started out, had a breakout season in the Nets, got traded to Indiana.
Oh, Karis LeVert.
Karis LeVert.
Karis LeVert.
Coming off the bench.
Levert's over there now?
Yeah, man.
LeVert's okay.
Oh yeah.
He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay.
yeah,
I think he's peaked.
Sleeper
Yeah.
team.
I think he's peaked. LeVert, personally.
Yeah, but if he's coming off the bench,
Yeah. He's just not gonna get any better. Like, I think we've seen what we're gonna get.
and
from
your
him.
headphones are echoing back. Yo, you got those joints loud as hell. But anyways, because I have your mic up, so
Yeah. Yeah. They're cool. They're cool. I thought you were gonna say like Indiana or something, but no, they're cool. Yeah. What about you guys? Are you guys watching ball? Like, what are you guys into?
real. But I've fallen so far off. Well, not far off of ball, but football for me. Football. That's my number one sport all day, every day.
Cool. Don't like it.
Big on don't at all.
No.
Wow.
I've tried. I
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
I've tried to play the games. I'm not a football guy.
Football, okay.
Big on my Niners. Big on my Bengals every time. But we did want to touch on UFC real quick.
Yes.
That's
yes.
probably
that's you and me.
Yeah, that's probably my go-to. But hey, did you guys catch the fact that Logan Paul actually had a fight and that just went under the radar?
Like he
Yeah,
just had a fight.
yeah.
He fought
But it ended in
Dylan Dennis.
It ended in disqualification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like
And
tried to
K-
fight the ref or something.
He threw a punch at the ref while he was trying to break the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then KSI fought Tommy Fury. Do you
Did
notice
Did you watch it?
No.
You didn't watch
But it's what I'm trying to say. I didn't even know it was happening.
But it was Saturday afternoon because I think they were
They never hit my algorithms
Abu
at all.
Dhabi.
What
yeah, eh?
what I'm trying to say
But
is that
typically they would.
well, his brother would.
Okay.
Like
Logan?
Paul's shit always like
Mhm.
lands somehow. I just think he's way better at marketing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way he gets his point across and he gets under your stories or he gets into your feed, like he's targeting a different, in my opinion, demographic than these guys were with that fight. Or Dillis.
Yeah, but
Dylan
maybe,
Dennis is just not like a Nate Diaz quality,
for
but
all-
that goes a part
for
of it.
all we know, they're just purposely tapping into that other side of the world. Maybe.
No, that could be a fact.
Yeah.
With
As opposed to
pushing
which-
Prime the way they're pushing Prime right now, yo,
Yeah.
these kids want Prime all day, bro.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You think that sport's dying? Like you think it's dead right now?
It's just, every sport goes through a downswing, right? And I think they're hitting theirs now. There's no star. I just feel like people don't really care anymore. Like, do you think people care about UFC right now?
You know what it is? I think it's actually the opposite of what you're saying. I think it's become so big and that there's so many cards that the star power doesn't exist on every single card. So you hear about like a fight that just happened, but you're just like, okay, Like I don't know any of those people because they're tapping into so many different demographics. So
somebody might be big somewhere, like,
you know how many different countries they're tapped into
Yeah.
where these guys are like superstars.
and there's millions of people
if you
watching
listen-
in that city.
Yeah, if you listen to their post-fight press conferences, Dana White's always saying, we just broke the record for that one, and we just broke the record for that stadium. And like, it's never like, I think he's on a roll for how many records that they've broken consistently. But to your point, some of the higher level stars, yeah, there isn't as much of a Conor McGregor right now. Like, people are getting hyped up just talking about him returning. You know what I mean? Which brings me to my point. I think John Jones is probably the closest thing to that right now, where he's holding that, I don't know, that prestige of like, or you want to go watch him, that mystique. You know what I mean? But it's
He
not
still
at the level.
carries that, I guess. Yeah.
In my opinion, if you're a hardcore combat sports fan, you want to go watch that. If you're a UFC, like, I feel like this fight, this card is for like the real, like real people that are into it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He was talking about this on one of his interviews too, John Jones, that is. And he's like, the business has changed a lot in the 4 years that he wasn't a part of the UFC. Whereas like he went to do one of those press conferences, like, holy shit, this many people are out for one of these now?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before it was like the complete opposite. So to me, it's like, it's growing, but not in the sense that you would think, you know, the entire roster, you know, all the superstars, you know, everything that's going on in every card. I think that's kind of fallen off. I'll speak for myself at least. Like even that card alone, outside of him and the co-main event, I don't really know too many of the other people that are on the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about. There was a time when
Yeah.
these guys were so good, they were stars, that you knew everything about them, even before they had UFC embedded and like all these different little sideshows that they created to build it up.
Yeah.
But like, who's GSP now? Like that's why they're dying to bring back Conor, because they need him.
For sure.
No one's coming to see that. Like, no one, like pay-per-views are probably down. You know, like that's why they brought back John Jones, because they need star power. That's why the WWE brings back The Rock. It's like they need people to come and watch. Like that's why baseball stadiums bring, you know, people to come do the first pitch, because they want people to come and like attend the game. So
you're not entirely wrong, because I feel like Ronda Rousey's coming back too.
why?
Which was a big.
Why do we?
Which
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
but you just answered it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there is that WWE component where it's like, this person brings X amount of asses in seats, so we're gonna push this person.
Every industry has to tap into something else in order to push their brand.
But you know what it is? You got to be able to bring it too, though. Like, like who's Logan or Jake Paul if they don't know how to talk and they don't know how to market or brand themselves?
But that's what it is, marketing and branding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's you need the product. You have the machine. UFC's got the machine to tap you into everything. ESPN, Fox, whatever it is, they have that whole thing done. But you need to be able to provide something. Like, well, look what happened to Izzy. Izzy was up there, biggest UFC deal and all that stuff, but he just fell off. He could have been, you know how big he could have been pushed into Africa if that whole thing happened? And they had the whole storyline going.
That was next.
He couldn't live up to it. So
Yeah, but you don't, going back to that, you don't think there's going to be a part 2 to that?
he's taking a break off fighting right now.
That's
He
what he's
has
saying?
to.
Yeah.
He
For
fought
how
like
long?
twice this year.
I don't know. Yeah.
He hasn't said how long?
He hasn't said how long.
Damn,
no.
yo, it's coming like everybody's going on break. Shout out Drake.
Mental health is a real thing, though. Even these guys go through it.
To perform consistently at a high level.
Oh,
is-
for sure.
That's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's a lot of
And
energy.
that's why I rate LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
That shit ain't easy, yo.
Yeah,
Not at all.
he's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Season after season after season, going deep into the playoffs.
But tap into sleep smarter real quick. This guy goes to sleep early.
Oh,
He gets in that like 8 to 10 hours of sleep on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Brady stuff. Like they're not.
That was
they're
the
not,
next name I was gonna bring up.
They're not wasting like a minute of their time other than to just stay focused on this particular art. They've literally given their life to it. in that regard.
Consistently
That
for
ain't
years.
Easy. Yeah.
That shit is not easy.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But are you looking forward to the fight on November 11th? Or you're kind of like, whatever, I'll watch the highlights.
Yeah. I mean, I'll watch it if I make time for it. You know, I'm not going to stop everything that week to watch it. You know, but again, like going back to UFC and its prestige and how popular it is, like I started watching UFC around like BJ Penn, John Jones when he was young, Lyoto Machida, these guys that were destroying people, and Anderson Silva, Aldo, Jose Aldo, Demetrius Johnson, guys that got the belt and held the belt for 10 years.
Mhm.
Like that's the era GSP, Nate, like beasts,
Not the Diaz so
monsters, like monsters.
But when you say John Jones when he's younger, I feel like that's why you got to be excited for this fight. Yo, the people, like his record speaks for itself. Undefeated.
He's never lost.
Yeah, never lost. and I don't want people to be like, oh, he lost to Matt Hamill. No, that doesn't count. Like it doesn't matter that it's
Disqualification.
Exactly.
Nonsense.
But the killer's road that he's been on, you even mentioned some of the people that he defeated.
Shogun, Machida,
Yo,
Quentin
Quentin
Jackson,
Yeah.
Rashad Evans,
Boom.
like he like absolute assassins he had to walk through.
Yeah, eh?
You know what I mean? So
I'm
Cormier
just-
beating Cormier after.
Come
Texiera
on,
became a
man.
champion after. Ryan Bader became a champion after. Even when he fought Bonner. People don't think about this. His second fight was against Stephan Bonner when he's 21 or 22 years old. Stephan Bonner's 31 years old.
he was a zombie.
And he finished winning or tying with Griffin for the Ultimate Fighter. So that's like a championship fight to me as far as I'm concerned. Like he is, in my opinion, arguably the greatest combat fighter to ever live. Period. Like that's how I feel about the fight. So I know
Well,
you like I get you like I won't make time for it. I'm like going no I'm not,
I mean-
like for me it's like I'm going out of my way to go watch this. Like
Yeah. It's so funny. Do you watch any other combat sport organization?
Once in a while I'll watch Glory if it even exists anymore. So no. I watch
K1?
K1 doesn't exist anymore though, right? That's what
Yeah.
Glory became, right?
Yeah,
But I used to
yeah.
watch K1 when it
Yeah.
existed. I used to
Yeah.
watch Pride when it existed.
Pride.
Yeah. Now what else is there? There's
Right.
one
What's that about?
Pride is the first one. Like
Hey, man.
foot, like head stomps. Like
Japanese. Yeah, that's where a lot of these guys came from initially.
Yeah.
Like if you want to talk WWE, like that was where Japanese wrestling would be like one with Pride, like their MMA version.
So
of it.
there was basically no weight class. Well, that was like K1. So there was a weight class in Pride. But K1, there was no weight class. So you could have a guy that was 200 pounds fighting a guy that was 300 pounds. No, there's just different styles go in and just go.
I'm surprised more people didn't die.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just was
Again,
just
shout
wanted to go back to that
shout
whole,
out Bazooka Joe, bro, because he went in one Glory.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, got some sparring in with him. Shout out Gary Goodridge,
Mm-hmm.
UFC vet and
Canadian.
Pride vet, Canadian, and shout out Paul Minhas again, man. You mentioned the whole Ultimate Martial Arts thing.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I
That's big.
trained there. I trained there for a bit. Loved it, man. Loved it.
Nice.
I want to go back, actually. I just love kicking and punching.
we
It's so much fun.
just can't find the time.
A little bit of that and just a little bit
Busy
of like,
doing the beard oil.
yo, man. I was saying today, like, you don't realize how much you do. I don't realize how much I do until I'm like, I'm kind of tired.
I got you.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I should. And then you think about, oh, wow, I actually haven't stopped moving since like 2012.
Buddy,
You know,
trust
like-
me.
you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think we'll take another break because I
Oh.
finished. What's in my cup? So I'm trying to get something else. But before we go, shout out the brand real quick. First King Clothing. Speaking of building up brands out here,
Only going up this year.
I do believe he's got some more new merch on the way. He's a friend to the room, but you can check out his
yeah.
clothing line. Not to throw the key in there, but big up First King every time. And we'll just take a quick break and we'll be right back with some more SUP.
This episode is brought to you by Body Ammo. More than a look, it's a lifestyle. Pick up some body ammo to protect your mind, body, and soul. Now, back to some more of SUP.
Nice.
Anybody who wants that rexdale playlist, link me. And just like he said, ain't no stopping till we make it. That song was featured in Ballers. Speak of the Rock again. Big up that WWE shit.
Oh, he's another one, bro.
Only going up this year.
That was another good show because you and I had a bit of a conversation earlier about what shows you're tapped into right now. Shout out Billionaires.
Billions.
Billions?
Yeah. Whew.
Whatever it's called. I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Love Billions. I love
The
there's
one
a
I just finished was Succession in terms of like that genre.
totally different planets, but but it's okay. I was also watching The Other Black Girl. It's such a good show. This black girl works in a book publishing company, and she's the only black girl.
Yeah.
And then another black girl starts to work there, and then she thinks that she's like trying to sabotage her. And it's all about like what
Is this
happens
comedy?
when it's like
Okay. This
comedy
sounds fun.
and mystery and,
Yeah.
and suspense and stuff. But it's like one of those like Jordan Peele. He's not directing it, but it's like one of those like trippy kind of like what's going on type stories. It's really, really good. Really, I think it's on Hulu. I stream everything online anyway, so that's a good show. Yellow Jackets is good too. Yeah.
What's the last show I watched?
What is the last show you watched?
You
There's
know
just
what
so much now.
Now, you know what has me right now? And I'm so upset about it because it's actually not good.
What's that?
Power, the Tommy story.
You are
Power
like
Book 4, whichever one it is.
the
4,
third person this week to tell me about Power.
It's so bad. It's
Is
so
it?
bad. From our perspective, being in the industry,
yeah,
it's horrible. It's like, it's bad.
It's probably when they
But-
didn't have writers and there's just like AI writing it.
But that's what they're saying the entire industry is in the States right now.
It's tough.
That's-
There's so much.
That's why
There's so
people are
much.
doing these things that they seem to be calling podcasts, where you're tapping into a perspective. That's all that it really is.
You should almost not call it a podcast and call it a platform. You know what I
He
mean?
doesn't call it a podcast. though.
Exactly. I don't
Yeah.
ask the mandem. I don't refer to it as that. I
He's
hate
got
that
me
word.
saying it. What do you call it?
Anything but that. It's a show. It's a
Oh.
talk
It's
show.
a show. Yeah.
We have video, not just audio.
Yeah.
Traditionally, a podcast is just an audio show,
Uh-huh.
but these have changed. Some of them even have sound effects, which we incorporated,
Mhm.
which aren't many aren't doing, but somehow we found a way of making it witty at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
because there's levels to this.
Let's go fly a kite.
Big up the brand Kited every time, in case you didn't know already. But we should do some sort of reintroduction.
Hadouken!
For those who don't know, you're sitting with Dre, one of the top producers out here in the city. Go run his credits. Find him on Instagram. Plug your Instagram one more time, bro.
It's _Dre_. It's _Dre_. Hit me.
Only going up this year.
And before we get started, big up and body ammo real quick. Not to throw the key in there. Yo, that energy. I know you ain't here today, but we feel you. We got you.
Shout out Face.
Big him up too.
Only going up this year.
We did say off the top, well, I guess before we got started, we wanted to have a bit of a vulnerable conversation. Because that was sort of the vibe today. Pause.
Why'd I get a pause?
I don't know. It still sounds kind of sensitive to me. I think that's maybe our problem. Like, men aren't supposed to be sensitive.
We can get into that.
Men don't think with their feelings. They don't think with their emotions.
Unless they do, I guess.
I mean, well, the crazy ones do.
What are we talking about?
One of the questions I had suggested was whether each one of us can identify our highest and lowest points in life.
I was gonna play it back a minute. I feel like some guys get so emo.
Mm.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
feel
just
like
not
those
a
are the ones
term that you like put out there like to define all men, because most of us aren't. But I mean, like, I feel like there's a lot of that. You're trying to talk to somebody and it's like, yeah, I didn't mean it like that, bro. like
Yeah.
it's a joke.
Well, like guys almost are more emotional because they don't know how to deal with it.
yeah,
So
that-
it
valid.
like comes out
Valid.
as like a spray, like it goes everywhere, and
Mhm.
you know they could start a fight or burn a house down.
Exactly. Yeah.
or crash their car, whatever.
But is that just stuff they showed us on TV that made us think that we are supposed to act that
you don't know guys like that?
I do. That's what I'm saying.
Like I grew up with guys
oh,
like that. That
I
just-
know of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something dope, right? That I just picked up from the Jada book right now because it's related to what we're talking about right
Yeah.
now. She talks about her relationship with Will, and she goes one time during an argument, and she said, "Yo, fuck you" or something like that, right?
Mhm.
And he goes, "I'm not putting up with that." Breaks up with her on the spot because of the profanity. So she's like, just that alone made him not want to have the communication or the relationship with me. Broke up even though it was for a week because of what he had to deal with his parents. So they would argue, swear, it would get physical. He didn't want to have to deal with that with anybody. So she brings up an interesting point where she's like, okay, so I stopped using profanity. We got very careful with the tonality that we would use when we speak and no words to like degrade the other person. However, sometimes you're using profanity just to express yourself. So she's like, the communication between us got really good, but then we weren't authentically expressing ourselves anymore. Because now it's just like, how am I supposed to watch my tone? It's the example she goes, how am I supposed to watch my tone, the words that I use if some girl's trying to pick you up? And she's like, slowly I had to start suppressing my emotions. So I say all that to say, guys have their version of that too. In this case, him, like he's kind of not really openly saying how he might be feeling just because he's able to block you off of your energy, or you get what I'm saying in that regard?
Yeah.
So yeah, Guys have their version of it, man.
Anyways, but going back to the original question,
Yeah.
you think you're able to identify your highest and lowest points in life, or you think you're ready to go first with this song? I mean, you are the guest.
If you guys need me to go first, I mean, I can go first.
You are the guest. It's up to you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like it's relative, right? Like your lowest point. Like I guess as an adult, you think about what your lowest point is, and that for me was kind of during the pandemic. You know, the pandemic for some people was a time when they made more money and they found themselves and all these things. Like for me, it was tough,
Bruh.
tough.
Try going through a separation.
I mean, I kind of did
during the pandemic.
Yeah, like
during the pandemic.
So during the pandemic, I was going through a breakup.
Oh, you too, huh?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Going through a breakup, going through unemployment.
Oh,
because I was just laid off.
Yeah,
Stop practicing and shit, eh?
So actually, I practiced a little bit more. Actually, you know what I mean? I had to do something.
Nah, I hit it with the bad. Yeah, I need the bun.
I'm telling you, SB, I'm telling you, as I'm like, damn it, there was the other one that I should have went with. Trust me, in that same moment,
hit it one more time.
You know,
there we go.
Okay, all right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Tupac, I get around. You know what I mean? All right, I'm joking. So, but anyway.
I love it.
G's perspective.
Hey.
Bob, trust me, yo.
What? Okay.
Levels to
From
this,
a G's
bro.
perspective.
The levels to this, bro.
So yeah, man. So I was going through a breakup. I was going through unemployment, and I also caught COVID. So I was hit with all these things, and
got
like
hit by the pandemic. I said it. No,
oh my god, yo. Well, Brilliant Idiots. I know you like Brilliant Idiots.
Good, dude. That was good.
You know, Brilliant Idiots, they call it Maxine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could just call it Maxine. I got the Maxine. But anyway, and then, like, that pushed me into therapy. So, like, at that time, that's when you sort of realize who's there for you. You realize, like, who's actually in your corner. And there were some people that stepped up during that time and, like, identified that something was going on. Like, my boy, Mike, we would do virtual dinners. Me and him and his wife, we would just do virtual dinners. We'd like make the same thing, and then we'd put our computers there, and then
shout out those kind of friends.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
shout out all of like those kind of friends.
Yeah,
man, yo,
yeah,
because that takes commitment, that takes dedication, because that's time.
Yes,
and time is the most valuable thing in the world.
Yes, and we got so much closer during that time too because of things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, there's other friends that they got things going on. There's other people in your life that got things going on, and they can either be there for you in their own way or not at all. And so you kind of go through that. And I had to learn a lot about myself, which was, why is the loneliness crushing me? You know, like I didn't realize that I had a problem being alone because I was so used to being around people all the time. But like, why? Why was I always around somebody? And it wasn't until therapy where I really learned that. Like I was so down, you know, I was so down to the point where I didn't want to call people anymore. I didn't want to, you know, go out, or I wasn't doing things that I really liked doing. Like I just wasn't doing that anymore.
What's the genesis? The breakup and COVID?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So the breakup was a long time coming.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
And that was a crazy situation in itself because we lived together.
Yeah.
So now this person's moving out during the pandemic. I now have no job, and I have to figure out how to make up two halves of the rent.
Yeah.
Right. All at the same time. Right. And so I just kind of had to figure it out. And then I started working at the LCBO. I was one of the like sales associates there. So I'm like stocking shelves and working at the LCBO. And like I found like kind of a home there. And the people there were just so wonderful. And, you know, I learned a lot about my ability to connect with different people because they were all different people from different walks of life.
When you're going through that, right?
Yeah.
And I ask a lot of people this. Do you find it easier sometimes to be able to speak your truth to a stranger versus someone that you've known for a long time?
Sometimes.
You know what I mean? And or at least a judge, like there's no fear of the judgment in the conversation?
Sometimes, yes. But I think your ability to be vulnerable has everything to do with how you view yourself, right? Because a lot of times we don't want to give that up. But it's because we feel like we're losing something in a way. Like people that want to hold on to their autonomy and their vulnerability, I guess, they have a problem with it.
Yo, you said it, bro.
Yeah.
What was the cause of the breakup?
The breakup, yeah, there was so many things, man. It was so many
It
things.
was a long time coming, but what was that last fucking...
What did I say? It was
straw
a long
that-
time coming.
Yeah.
And what did I say? I don't know. Did I say it?
No, you didn't say it.
Oh, the last straw?
Yeah.
We were, oh man.
I got COVID because of you.
No, man, not
No?
even that. It was just, we were just such different people, man.
Are you
It
still
was-
cool with her?
No, I never want to see her again.
Oh, I know the feeling.
But it was one of those where like you try to make it work, and then we moved in so quickly.
Okay.
And at the time for me, I was like, I'm ready to settle down. Like I could do this. And the person this is when I learned like principles are important.
Boom.
Right? Principles are so important. And
Ray Dalio, Principles. Go read
yes,
that.
Ray Dalio, that's my guy.
Boom.
Principles, just common interests, families, these like the ancillary things that we don't really think about when we're getting involved with someone. We think like, are we attracted to them? Da da da. This was like everything outside of that was just a complete mismatch, and that was the foundation that the relationship was built on. And obviously, with a rocky foundation, relationship can't stand. And that's kind of what happened. I did things, she did things. We just weren't a good match. So going through that, we just weren't.
This is when I miss Face and his presence not being here, because then I want to know what the zodiac signs are.
Oh, she was a Capricorn and I'm a Gemini, the best one. So it's tough.
We replaced Geminis with Geminis. Shout out
Hey,
Pree.
exactly. Shout out
Really?
Pree. She's a
Oh shit,
Gemini,
man, that would have
yeah.
been so much fun.
Oh, buddy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys get along with each other? Like Geminis click with Geminis?
Yeah, we're cool, man. We're cool.
Only going up this year.
Next time we'll have you back for some more perspective and
Yeah, that'd be
make sure
cool,
she's
man.
here.
That'd be cool if she's here. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Gemini is in my top 3 in terms of like overall compatibility. So
Okay, you're a Libra. You said, yeah, man. Yeah, Libra's
focus
yeah,
on
yeah,
Geminis,
yeah.
yeah.
Aquarius, Libra, Taurus. I get along with.
Hit the Aduka. So that's the
Yeah,
low.
I've-
That's the low. What's the high?
I mean, it got lower than that. But,
Let's go. Let's go.
man, I mean, that was the beginning. And then throughout that process, it was really just, I lost myself. I completely lost who I was. I completely lost my sense of self, my identity. I'm now in a space where I was living with a person where I can't stop thinking about them, but I want to stop thinking about them. But I also need to focus on getting a job, paying the bills, and getting out of debt, and all at the same time, all trying to be myself, all going through this global pandemic, and I can't get out of the house. So it was just everything at once. And like, that's when I found therapy. And that's when I really learned why these things were impacting me, because this wouldn't be a problem for somebody else. They could stay inside and they could be fine. But the loneliness was crippling me, and I didn't know why. And I didn't know why certain things were hard for me and not for others. And so it wasn't until I met my therapist. I thought at the time, I'm not doing transportation, so I'll take that budget, I'll put that into therapy. Did that. Now I'm in therapy, and the therapist that I had was absolute complete godsend. She was incredible. We had a session every week for almost 2 years, and she completely like broke me down and rebuilt me. You know, that's what therapy felt like to me. It was just going to those little
Broke you. Like your identity down?
Yes, exactly.
And was able to like basically build you up the way that you want to be opposed to what you were.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got
like
that.
helped me find myself, gave me a flashlight and showed me the exits, you know, and that's what that process was like. And then I learned so much about what was going on inside of me. It helped me find a sense of self. And so this is to answer your question, how did things swing back up? It was really through therapy. It was really through understanding, why are these things impacting me? Where does this come from? What do I need in order to get out of here? And this is when I learned self-love, like for real. Like we hear about self-love, we don't know what it is. But for me, it was a day when I decided to go to Home Depot. I'm like, I'm going to paint my wall. And I figured out a color. And then I decided I'm going to go to Home Depot and I'm going to get some paint and I'm going to buy some plants while I'm there. And so I did that. I came home and I felt incredible. And I didn't know why. And I told my therapist, and I said, what I just told you, I bought some plants, I bought this paint, I feel amazing. And she's like, Andre, that's self-love, because you did those things just for you.
Bro.
Yeah, let me ask you guys a question, right? I follow that. But can you see yourself back in that rut though? Or do you feel like you have the tools now to like...
Yo, even thinking about that
Move.
just made my stomach turn.
You get what I'm saying though?
I do not want to feel those feelings again, yo. I mean,
Like you're over
it
it.
helped get you apart. It's funny enough. I watched one of our clips the other today, and it was the one where you're talking about the journey.
Yeah.
Like you're just forever on the journey.
Yo.
Like stop thinking about the destination. You're just on the journey.
That there is nothing
So-
but the journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, without that journey, we wouldn't be here.
Mhm.
We would not be here right now in this moment without that. So would I have to do it again to get us here? Fuck, I probably would.
I don't
probably
think I
would.
don't think I would.
Only going up this year.
I mean,
You don't think you would what? Sorry.
Be in the same spot.
yeah,
You know
actually,
what
no,
I mean?
I'm lying.
But how much of it?
I'm,
like
I'm lying.
I don't.
I just did that for the clips. Not said to hit you with that one.
I don't
Sorry,
think.
SB, sorry.
No, it's all good. I don't think a lot of people would say, "Yeah, I want to be in that feeling," or "I want to be that way again."
Yeah.
But sometimes a part of it's mental. You're
Yeah.
mentally in that space, and it's not hard to fall back in that space. One thing doesn't go your way, two things don't go your way, three ways don't go your way. All of a sudden, you're kind of going back through a certain process in your head, or at least I'm speaking for myself at this point, where it's like, ooh, like, how do I shift out of this momentum when it's not falling the right way? Do you have something like that? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, because now I can identify when I'm heading back into that, when I'm slipping back into those habits that allowed me,
Habits. I
that
love that you said
caused
that.
me. Yeah, it's
Boom.
all about habits.
Boom.
Now I can see when I'm stressed. I know what's happening to my body
Yeah.
biologically,
Yeah.
you know, and mentally. Like, what are my thoughts? Am I thinking more negative thoughts recently? I'm able to catch that now, where I wasn't able to before.
Big.
You know, am I still doing the things that I like doing? Well, let me see. I like going to the gym. I like talking to my friends. I like going out. Am I still doing those things? I like reading. Am I still doing those things?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. So I'm fine mentally. Maybe it's something else. And then I'm able to find the issue that way. I now have those tools. So now that I have those tools, it's unlikely, not impossible, it's unlikely that I'll be in the same position. Now, that's not to say that if something catastrophic happens,
Yeah.
will I now have to dig deeper? Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
But what was your answer after seeing the therapist then? So when you go that, why do I not like being by myself or being lonely? What was the green light? Like, what's the answer to that? Like, what did you find out?
Well, I found the answer just through, actually, it was this one moment. She changed it was a paradigm shift, right? If you read books and whatever,
Talk to me.
paradigm shift is when you have a shift in mindset.
Yeah.
And now you're completely thinking on a different track.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't go back. So my paradigm shift, I guess, was when she asked me, because I always felt, especially growing up Black, especially growing up kind of hard, like difficult, like we did, you think things need to be hard. You think things need to be difficult because everything is difficult, right?
Yeah.
And so I said to her one day, I said, I feel bad that I'm getting comfortable because I feel like if I'm comfortable, I'm not growing.
Mm.
And she's like, that's really interesting. Can you tell me, and when our session was about to end, and she's like, when you walk away, I want you to think about this. What is something that grows in comfort? Because it is possible for you to grow in comfort. And I want you to think about that.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, what grows in comfort? I'm thinking like, I don't know, what grows in comfort?
Yo, bro, the way that continue.
Right? And so I come back Saturday, we had our sessions. I come back on Saturday.
That's a really good question.
It's
That's
an
kinda why
amazing
I was,
question.
Absolutely amazing question.
Right?
Yeah.
And then she
That
goes,
just-
yeah. And then
you
we
make me want to change therapists. Like,
she's incredible, man. She's incredible, man. Black
Continue.
woman too.
Continue.
Anyway. So then we come back the next week and she's like, okay, well, what's your answer? What grows in comfort? And I'm like, honestly, I thought about it and it just came to me 10 minutes before this. And she's like, what? And I go, babies, plants.
Plants is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, babies, plants, like things like that need to grow. They usually,
Let's go fly a kite.
Continue.
those are the things that grow in comfort. And she's like, exactly, right? So there is an example just by nature of something that grows in comfort. So you know that it is possible for you to grow in comfort. And that's when my mind shifted. That's when I realized like I can still be comfortable and grow at the same time. And then things just completely shifted for me at that point.
I feel like a hobby / passion would be in that realm too. You know what I mean? Like you have like your beer project, for example.
Exactly.
Like you're not in like some rush to grow it, but you're having a good time doing it. You're doing it. The passion's there for it. It's growing in
It's
comfort.
the passion.
Yeah,
As long as the passion is still there.
I think that's such a important secret sauce to anything. That and fun. It's got to be fun. Like that.
Right.
Like that's when like when to your point, like certain things for me when they just broke down, I always ask myself, yo, how do I have fun doing this? Even when it's work, even if it's a 9 to 5, even if it's a project, whatever it is, how do I have fun doing this? I know that thing is breaking off for me, or I need to like re-strategize how to do this if I'm not having fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like my little secret sauce to whatever
And
it
then
is.
at the end of the day, success then is only based off of your perspective. Big up Earl Nightingale.
Mm.
If you don't know who that is, go listen to some Earl Nightingale, bro.
The strangest secret?
Bro.
Come on, man.
If you don't know SB, you're supposed to hit the button, dog.
Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad.
Not that one,
Oh,
man.
no?
Don't do that.
No?
If you don't know, now you know, man. Come on.
Sorry,
man. You see it?
sorry.
You see it?
Yeah. Oh, my bad. My bad.
His board game ain't like my board game.
It's not tight yet.
He needs some practice.
Yeah.
He needs some practice.
to work
The
on the
amount of
release.
times this
Shout
guy
out
slips up.
Iverson,
I have to like verbally say his buttons for him.
Shout out Iverson.
You did do that today a
You know what
couple
I'm
times.
saying?
I did notice
I didn't like
that.
how you switched up there though. I don't like that. I don't like how you did that
I
quick.
did, but I did notice that. I keep it 100. I keep it a buck. Yeah, man. I don't know. That was it, man. And then once I learned those things, life kind of took off for me, and then I was able to give it back to other people and help them heal.
Is that a part of the teaching too? Like when you're teaching, or is that strictly just?
I mean, I started teaching. I taught before that, but I had a student come to me and want me to mentor them.
Yeah.
And I gave that to them.
Yeah.
You know, and like now being a leader in the positions that I'm in now, I'm able to give that to my team.
Was therapy the key for you too? Or was it something before that or after that?
See, mine is a little different because I just started back going to therapy. Like what day today? Call it 4 days ago. No, 3 days ago. First time in 3 years. And I was basically like bringing them up to speed as to what's gone on, because I had none since then.
Bring us up to speed. How often were you going beforehand? So 3 years ago, how often are you seeing this person? And for how long?
Like once a week-ish. And things started to get pretty intense.
Define intense.
Yo, I'm unpacking stuff that I've never spoken to any about. Like I've never spoken to with anybody.
That's huge.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
But even their reaction to the things that I'm sharing, mind blown. Like what? There's no way. What? There's no way. That too? Nah, there's no way. Yeah, I got stories, bro. Like things that you watch on TV. Things that you see on TV in these murder mysteries, these crime stories, these sick people who do these disgusting things. Like, yo, The Wire. You've seen The Wire?
Of course I have.
Bruh.
Of course I've seen The Wire.
Bruh.
It's the greatest show of all time.
All of it, yo.
It's the greatest show of all time.
All of it.
No question.
All of it.
Can't watch Snowfall and these other shows. I mean, Snowfall's good, whatever, but The Wire.
But people are so, they don't believe that it can really be that way.
Yeah.
And then especially when they're not even that far from it, but they have no idea that that stuff really exists.
Yeah, what does that mean though? I don't understand that. Like, what do you mean? What exists? What doesn't exist?
These worlds that you see on TV where things can be that bad for a community.
So like
a
that's
person,
what
a situation.
Like that's what you're sharing with the therapist at that point, and like they're giving you
getting to that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, these things happen. Even if it's not to me and like it's something that I've had to deal with firsthand. I have a friend who's this close to me, who's sharing these things with me. And like to hear some of these things sometimes, it's like that's weight that you're also carrying at the same time now. That you know it even exists and that person is again that close to you. Like, damn, I really feel for you. Like that's some fucked up shit. Like you're really like living life like that right now. It could be heavy. Like life could be really heavy at times.
What would be your...
And there aren't really a lot of outlets that people are comfortable, I guess, utilizing.
So like your story is different from him, but what led you to, I guess, your lowest point then? What got you into the whole therapy thing?
Let me start with my highest point, because mine was around that time.
Your highest point was around the time of your lowest point.
No. Around that time, going back 3 years ago when I was like in therapy. Well, going back 5 years ago, really.
Yeah. What I'm trying to get to so I understand.
Yeah.
Are you going to therapy before or after your lowest point?
I'm at my lowest point right now.
Ooh. Okay. Ooh.
Well, you thought I was talking about that would have been my lowest point because I was.
I don't know what would have been
Nah.
what.
No.
This has got interesting
Yeah.
for me. Okay, let's hear
At
this.
that point, I would say 5 years ago, I was at my highest point.
5 years ago, you're at
5 years ago, I was
Ooh,
definitely at
okay.
my highest point in life.
Okay, I love that too.
Like the feeling of
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm outside, like I'm out here, like living life. That would have been 5 years ago for me.
Okay.
But now is when I feel like I'm at my lowest point.
You said 5 years ago was your highest point. What are the key indicators that you can identify made
Why don't you
that
do it?
moment your highest point?
The things that I can identify that.
That's a great question.
Yeah, but I hate that he had me on the close up that entire time. You could have put on the wide shot.
No, don't do that. Answer the question.
What are the things that made me feel that way?
Why was 5 years ago so significant?
Yeah, I was getting to
now
that.
as your lowest point.
Yeah, well, okay, I was getting to that. 5 years ago, I was in therapy, learning about myself, getting to that point where I'm able to unpack all of this weight that I've been carrying for so long. And even prior to that, just transitioning into a mature me, like a different,
Like I hire you.
yeah, like a different bun than I was before.
2.0.
Exactly.
More purposeful.
And it was validating when my family and friends were able to identify it and then share that with me.
Boom.
So I'm like, oh, clearly this is working then.
Yeah.
Like something is happening here. That thank you for recognizing this.
Yeah.
Because I had some very like interesting conversations around that time.
Yo.
And mind you,
Shout out to everybody that actually does acknowledge this for people.
Bruh.
Like when
Bruh.
you point out a compliment or something that someone's working on, it's a big deal. For you to say it, and then obviously for the person to be able to receive it. But you saying it, you have no idea whose day that you just made or who you just reassured and gave some confidence to. That's a big thing to do. Great way to spread love. Pause.
That was a good one.
where was I?
You're about to say that it was the best, like why, like how
Yeah.
you
Oh,
say that this
okay.
is the,
So-
yeah.
So, but aside from that, so I'm going through this mental, I guess, maturation. So I'm like feeling a lot better internally about myself, right? I had just purchased my second home at that point, brand new, like all the bells and whistles, bro. Like the man them have seen 1, 2 things and be like, yeah,
Only going up this year.
you know the vibes. Brand new SUV. Again, bells and whistles, bro. Bells and whistles. Second daughter. What do I have to complain about? I'm making decent money, doing what I'm doing. I am building my family. I'm growing as a father. I'm growing as a person. I'm growing as a partner. I'm growing as a friend. You get what I mean? Like I mentally, I'm on top of the world. Nobody can't talk to me. I'm heavy on the investments then. 6 figures. You know what type of high you have to be on at that point, bro? Like, what do I really have to complain about? And that's when I took some of that money, bought a next brand new spanking SUV. But you get what I mean? Like, what do I, like, I'm living life. All the things I just mentioned. And I'm, again, internally growing, feeling so much better about me.
Everything's going your way.
Bro. And then all of a sudden, it don't take much, yo. Pandemic hits, going through a separation. And again, I shared the 1, 2 things with you, but when I write that book, bro, the mental challenge that you have to go through as a man, it ain't easy, yo. Going through an experience like that. And we shouldn't have to be out here fighting to be in the lives of our children. That don't make no sense. I know SB, similar situation. I don't know how much of that stuff you want to touch on, but that ain't cool. And the means that people are out here going to in order to get it, regardless of whatever they're spewing, it's a horrible place to be in. And then somehow finding a way, though, to grow something from it, much like a plant. That entire time, the little bit of conversation I had with my therapist for like the first one since, I guess we identified that I was just in survival mode.
That's huge. For people to even understand that. You want to break that down?
There is one of the biggest bars that Face used to give me every day. And you want to talk about friends, yo? Bro.
Only going up this year.
I would talk to that guy every single day. Every single day that guy checked in on me. Every single day. And you know what his message was every day? Bun, just focus on getting up the next day, dog. Don't worry about 2 days from now. Don't worry about next week. Just worry about getting up tomorrow, yo. Just fight tomorrow's battle and you're going to see another one. Just fight tomorrow's battle. Yo, you're going to see another one. Every day.
I'll jump in real quick though. Because you're saying two things. And I want to understand the difference. Because you're saying back then, and you're also saying you're still going through it. So you're saying that you've been going through it for all this time? As in the lowest time, like the lowest point? Or is it just coming in waves?
It's like, again, I was in survival mode. So it's like, yeah. I'm not even stopping to, even you talk to me about this all the time too, even to just respect where I'm at with it.
Yo, this goes back to what I was saying before, because I was that person that couldn't accept a compliment. Like sometimes you reflect back, and I had a coach, right? So I have a coach, I had a therapist, I did courses, I did books, yo, I meditated, I went on trips, like I was doing the whole fucking thing. I remember my coach would be like, how are you going to celebrate? So I'm talking to her every week and we're checking off whatever I've done throughout that period. And she'd be like, how are you going to celebrate this? And I would have such a hard time fucking figuring that out. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go party, I'm going to go do this. But it'd be like even something little, like, yo, go get a massage, jump into sauna, like whatever it is for you, go get something else done. I could never figure out what it was. But I needed that reminder to be like, yo, you got to do something for yourself. And then that goes back into that self-love thing, because we're so like used to work. You could be climbing a mountain and you never look back to be like, shit, I climbed pretty far still. And then you're just like, it's no longer a hobby. But you felt like you remember something.
I feel like I lost myself at one point, but I was going to tell a story about the morning I first looked at my phone and saw the 6 figures.
Yeah.
I played Soulja Boy and Drake. I blasted that shit, bro. I finished my BT shift. Driving back, I had just left work. Checked my account and I was like, oh, it's up, bro. Nigga, we made it.
Big track. Big track.
Nigga, we made it. I was blasting that shit, yo. I just feel like you guys would appreciate that part of the story. But that's the song that I played when I saw my account hit that 6 value. Nigga, we made it. That was the song. But yeah, I guess for me, it's just, I mean, I've mentioned it on here before, losing my mom too, that, yo, there's no, bro. Yo, man. Been a rough time, yo. Like a really, 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 really rough patch. And then, shout out everybody who's been complimenting what we've been working on here too. Like, trust me, SB, Knots, Face, Priya, like, the feedback has been positive. A lot of it's been positive to me. I'll take a moment to big up everybody who's following us so far on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you listen to us at, Google Play. We have some stuff we still have some more stuff to figure out, but all we ask is that if you appreciate the topics that we're talking about on here, just send it to one friend. Like the post, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Not you'll throw that key in there that says whatever. But
I even like the fact that you said what Face was doing for you to help you. Because a lot of people want to be there for their friends when they're going through something, but they don't know how to be. And then it becomes harder to be there for them when they say, yo, I'm good, I don't need nothing or whatever. Like, they don't want to open up either. So it's like this back and forth, but I think it really takes a good person that really does care about you genuinely to push through that and still, like, you know, ask to take you out even though you said no the last 99 times. Or they know that you're not in the best of moods, or you're going to be a little cranky or whatever it is, but they're still trying to put something together for you that you'd appreciate. Like, those kind of friends don't come by too often, man. So go be that for somebody.
Yeah, and there's other friends too. Shout out Dippy again, yo. That's my other road dog. Like, Dippy's entire family. Like, without them, it's just, yo, like, they look out for us type of thing. Like it's never just me. It's me and my family.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes a community oftentimes, and people don't even realize that.
Do you appreciate how far you've come?
I don't give myself enough grace to be honest.
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like I'm too motivated to just, I need to improve on that next thing. I need to go improve on that next thing. There's always a way to make something better.
It's that not celebrating your wins thing that I was just talking about.
Ever.
You definitely need to celebrate your wins.
Yeah.
It's a problem that I'm working on. Hopefully my therapist helps me get there. But
even if you just buy yourself some new shoes or something, you know?
Yo,
it could literally.
I mean, going back to being up the like 6 figures, bro. I'm almost close to being down that much these days. So like, the economy has changed, bro. And like you said, that pandemic, I was barely working myself, yo.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even go back into certain buildings. Yo, my income, dramatic hit.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow, still figuring it out. You get what I mean? And like Faye said, just worry about getting up tomorrow, yo. Because as long as you believe, you keep pushing with that passion, that's a bar right there. Keep pushing with that passion. You'll get there. You're going to figure it out. And the more you keep finding those dimes, speaking of which, I found one yesterday. Also found one on Friday. Big up that episode if you haven't seen it already, that girl math. But you look like you're percolating with another question.
No, I'm just listening to what you're saying, and I have so many thoughts about just listening to you. One of the things that my therapist taught me was when you get to a certain point and you understand yourself at such a high level, you run the risk of becoming what's called emotional elitism, right? So like somebody like me who's gone through it and done all that and is still doing it, but I'm at a certain point, I'm listening to people and I'm listening to where they are in their journey because I was there, right? And so I can almost hear where you are. And what my problem was I was pulling that out of people, right, before they were ready for it. And so kind of what you're seeing is me processing and listening to what you're saying and hearing where you are in your journey, because it's a journey and you're on it. And it sounds like you're progressing and it sounds like you're doing a really good job because you weren't where you were last year and you weren't where you were 6 months ago.
Only going up this year.
Only going up. So I'm just listening to that. I'm paying attention to where you are in your journey. And I want to say you're on the right track and you're going to get there. You're going to get to where you want. And you know what? What's on the other side is a much...
walking into bars with like a bunch of cameras just taking...
Me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't care anymore. Like, nothing can touch
trust
you.
me, I really don't.
Yeah.
Like, these guys can tell you, I don't like leaving my house. I don't even like leaving my house.
Yeah. I didn't want to leave my house, and that's me. Like, Jermaine knows me. Like, I'm always out doing something. I'm out. I'm here. I'm here right now. I could be at home doing
working on
other
$50 million budgets.
Oh, man. I actually...
Only going up this year.
actually
$100,000, $500,000, $1 million.
You look, man. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great couple of years for me, but you know, not to take over what you're saying. I just think that it's great that you guys can be so vulnerable with each other and
we're trying, yo.
Speak your mind, speak your perspective.
Because that's what this ultimately became. It's just therapy at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's therapeutic. But real quick before we get out of here, SB, you got your highest or lowest? Like you touched on one, but pause. I guess.
I don't know if I've ever really touched on this on here. This is the crazy part because we have a lot of similar timelines.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Yeah, mine. My lowest is definitely April 2019. So
that specific month,
like
that month was like the bottom of the bottoms, bro.
That's when it started.
Okay,
but like it still goes on too. So
I guess mine would have started. I guess I can identify mine too.
Yeah,
when it started.
Like so to like kind of like you, it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I had given myself a year mentally. I'm married, so I'm giving myself a year. Like, yo, I'm gonna try to do everything that we talk about or that you want me to do to make this work. I got 2 kids at the time, so that's a big part of it, right? We got our house, everything is good, you would think from the outside, but I'm not happy. So I'm gonna give this a year to really work on this as best as I can. That's it. Cool. In between that time, I go to India. And I'm gone for like a month and a half. So this is February 2019. I take my son with me. He's like a year and a half at the time. And we're there. We're going to a whole bunch of different temples. We're going to a whole bunch of different spiritual events. And yo, I'm just loving it, bro. I'm loving it. There's no financial stress. There's no worry about the bills. There's no worry about nothing. There's no arguments with the spouse. There's nothing. Like, I'm just really getting that time to calm down and having some really memorable moments with this guy and just meeting family that I haven't seen in a while. Cool. So I'm on that level of a high. I get back, I find out my cousin committed suicide. Jeez. And this is like to say cousin is just so you guys understand and then there's no confusion, but it's really like a brother. You get what I'm saying? That just rocked me in a way that I've never been rocked before. So I'm coming from like this high, not my like highest moment, but I'm like, yo, I could take on anything right now. I'm like meditating.
Yeah, you
I'm
feel that energy.
good.
Yeah, that's the energy. And like the world ain't got nothing on me.
That energy is so natural.
I got this figured out. Yeah, you feel like you're on levels, bro.
But it's more natural to me too, just the type of person I am. Like, I'm more of a positive, outgoing, yo, I'll figure this out. Like, nothing really gets me down. You get what I'm saying? So anything up until that moment, I've kind of dealt with it or I'm dealing with it. But when that happened, yo, my brain, my mind, my spirit, I have not processed any of this sort of hurt in my fucking life. So that just spun my whole fucking world.
Deceit.
Like, I was just like, whoa. And it'd be like, going to your point about who am I, my identity, that became a question now. Because anywhere I show up, I'm the energy guy. I'm the, hey, what's going on? What's the joke today? Like that guy, right? Like, you know him in the room type of thing. To a level anyway. But I'm not that anymore, but I feel like I have to be that because that's how these people know me. And I was fooling myself at that point, where it got to the point where I'm still acting like this, but I'm like, yo, I don't feel good. Like, I don't, like, ugh. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd go on these fucking long ass walks trying to figure it out, but then no one could really figure it out with me either. No offense. The communication with the spouse wasn't at the level that I needed it to be. So this is another shout out Jada, like that book. I'm telling, no, but like, yo, they have some real dope ass communication where they can actually really speak to each other. You know what I mean? So that I respect that because I think it's very important. Shout out the book Connect. If you want to learn about how to communicate with people, go read that. It's huge.
To catch up, yo.
Yeah.
The amount of books you guys shouted out today, like, damn, yo.
Yeah,
I love reading.
Yeah, Connect's a big one because it even teaches you how to become like more close to somebody that might be in like a work environment or a business transaction or whatever it is. But anyway, like, they give you a formula and everything. But anyway, when that started to happen, I didn't know how to deal with it. So I didn't know, but I wasn't into therapy at that point. But I took a course and shout out Landmark. And a lot of people have their opinion about it. But what I learned from that course was huge. It actually really, really changed my perception on a lot of things. And kind of like what you were saying, what I would identify what you were talking about, where you don't know a certain trait that you have until someone points it out. They refer to that as a blind spot. So for me, it's like the point that got me was when they're like, you know what you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. That was like, oh shit, I wanted part of this whole thing. And the biggest part of it that I gained from that whole process was the ability to speak up. Like, yo, really speak your emotions. Speak what's on your mind. Speak how you feel. Talk about it. I was at a point where I wasn't even talking about it with myself. And at that point, I had like kind of fallen off of the journal game. And I was more writing stuff, but not journals, but just like time traveling poems and stuff like that. But it was my way of just fitting in whatever was going on to express my emotion. No one else is going to get this. No one else is going to even see this. But it was enough. But then when I actually started to converse with myself and started to talk to myself and have these bigger conversations, now I'm going to really get into the books though. I'd go on these long ass walks, and this is where the book thing really became a big thing because I was listening to The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, which a lot of people talk about. And up until that moment, I didn't know the difference between me, my body, my mind. I just thought like, this is me. Like, you know what I mean? Until he starts breaking down what your mind is and how it's thinking and what it's thinking about. And look at it always, you know, working on this or working on that or talking negative about you, whatever, your self-esteem, whatever it is. By fluke, at the same time I was reading The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, right?
Great book.
Yo, huge.
Great book.
That's where my whole little psychology thing kind of started. Second book where it started. There was one more before that. But those two together, it made me realize, yo, like how close, if you want to call the power of now spiritual, which you could, how close spirituality and human behavior or psychology really are. Then I just fell in love with like understanding myself better. Like, oh, I act like this. If you say this, oh, you act like this when I say this. You say this, but you don't do this. You always say this and you don't do it. Like, I just started to fucking see patterns in everything, bro. And I just went on a huge trajectory where I needed to get myself out of how I was feeling, but I had built up so much habits that were not good for me, mostly like eating shit. Like I'm eating garbage, not taking care of my health. I'm just not as productive as I could be.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, yo, 2 kids, not the greatest relationship. Pretty much a separation is about to go down, right? Dealing with the death of a loved one, people not understanding that you're dealing with the death of a loved one.
Yeah. And how you may be dealing with it.
Yo, no, like lack of empathy, lack of love from like I'm not just like a majority of people. So, and I remember this guy saying this to me too. Like I was sharing this with someone I was working with at the time. They're like, yo, but you know, when you talk to someone, no one knows that you got this going on, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know that. You got to just continue to, you know, move forward with whatever it is. Kind of like what you're saying with Face, like, yo, just get through this day. But for me, I couldn't lie to myself like that. Like, I was just like, yo, I can't deal with this. I'm cornered by everything right now. I'm putting out so many fucking fires while I'm on fire. So now I like slowly things just needed to get eliminated. And that's what slowly started to happen. So that's the lowest. And I would say the reason I was even asking you, like, yo, how do you ever catch yourself falling back into certain patterns or certain habits? That happens to me every now and then where I'm kind of going through something, or that I've hit such a point that I can't fully celebrate it or acknowledge it. Like, holy fuck, yo, like this is actually happening right now. Kind of like what we were even talking about performing in the States and doing the whole Comedy Cellar thing and all that stuff. Like that's a bigger deal than I'm making it out to be for myself right now. Just because of the fear of how quickly shit could go the other way. Yeah. But as for a high moment, it's got to be time with my kids, bro. Like, especially like, and there's no specific moment because I feel like anytime. Maybe
I was looking for a period of time.
Yeah, like, man.
Like, even if it goes back to like your 20s when you were filthy rich, driving fancy cars.
Yeah.
Taking private flights. Listen, yo, bro, like,
so funny. That time was that time was epic. For that time though, you get what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, but it make you feel like I'm living life right now.
Yo,
you've been to like 70 countries, bro. Like, talk about it, dog. Like that time you went to Spain or whatever. Like, yo, hit me with something, bro. Like, you got to be on like a levels, dog. Like, you know, you feel like you're.
I didn't know any of this, so this is
I've traveled a lot. But here's the thing, I don't value it like as my highest point. Like my highest points would not be highest points to other people. Like the money, like same thing. I've had my personal house, I've had investments while I have my house. I've had jobs where like things are going good.
But
like,
it's the comfort that those things come with, to me, is what I'm suggesting. Like, I'm like, you're now comfortable in life. And that's kind of why I feel like you have this plan and God laughs. Like, bro, you think that's it for you, bro? Like, you think I'm not putting you through more of this? Like, you're not stopping there. Like, there's more to come.
Like, this might even sound silly, but like the moments that are like, to me, my highest points, I'll give one example. I'm at a gurdwara, like a temple in Punjab, right? Called Paonta Sahib. I feel like I've talked about this before. But our 10th guru, so Guru Gobind Singh Ji, this is like where he had the happiest time of his life. When he was alive. And they basically built this whole city after him while he was fighting the Mughals and all that stuff, right? But I'm there with my son, and he had his sons. And his history with his sons is kind of like, they basically got sacrificed in war, you know? And I don't know why that made me so teary, that story, but I'm holding my son's hand when he's 1.5 years, and I'm walking around in that temple just thinking like, yo, like, this guy, like, it's kind of like a Jesus to us. You get what I'm saying? Like, he gave up his life for us to kind of walk around here and do whatever. So that moment to me is such a high point that it might not be for somebody else. Like, that means more to me than a lot of other stuff. Like, just chilling out there with him, or with him being at the Golden Temple. I'm at the Golden Temple with my kid. That's my favorite spot in the whole world. We're on the roof of it. And I'm just holding his hand. This guy could barely talk right now. He could walk, and I'm just like, yo, look at this guy. Like, yo, you're a king. Like, those moments to me are huge. And I'm not going to mention any of my daughter because I feel like I always have to make it like it's equal. They are equal. But like for this moment, I'm sharing that moment.
When was that moment?
This is right before. So this is that trip, 2019. March or February 2019. Yeah. So the up and down happened pretty quick there still.
That was another element to my high though, because at that point I was traveling heavy too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was seeing the world. And if there's one thing I've said to people before, like, nothing don't shape your perspective more than traveling.
Love traveling.
They can't have to get out. Trust me, yo.
You can't lose.
The first time I went to the other side of the world, because I'd been to like the local spots, Cuba, Jamaica, Bahamas, Miami, like. But the first time I went to, the one time I went to Abu Dhabi, just going to that other side of the world, bro. Yeah. It's different over there. And we only know here, like, North America, this one lens, this one perspective. Like, bro, go over that side, yo, you're going to see things you've never even thought of.
That's a fact. Like when you were talking about Turkey, right? Yeah. Two things came to me. One is I used to date this Turkish girl that used to tell me
We didn't talk about that on there, but give the viewers a little bit of perspective. Before we started, we had a bit of a conversation outside.
Yeah. So we're having a conversation outside about your trips and how you went to Turkey and you were just getting all the pussy, LeBron.
This one too.
Hey, keep your voice down, all right? Keep your voice down. No, yeah.
No, I'm playing. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He's being humble. But you're out there and you're just experiencing a whole different culture.
Yeah.
And you're with another couple's walking down. Oh no, this is Barcelona. My bad. Yeah. You're in Barcelona.
Yo, Nat, you're the man that talk. Brussels, Barcelona. Like,
what was the name of the church?
Turkey. La Sagrada Familia.
Boom. You stand with the accent.
Say that one more time.
La Sagrada Familia.
Yeah.
Oh man, this guy's gonna get panties thrown at him. But you're going down the staircase. There's another couple that's not from there.
Tell the story. You tell the story.
Yeah, boom. Let's do. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Fucking you there.
So I'm in this La Sagrada Familia and I'm on a tour and we're going down one of the towers.
Hold on. Guys, Google that.
Yes.
Google that.
Yes.
This is like a cathedral that's been like being built for like 150 plus years.
Yeah.
Check that out. Beautiful. Go ahead.
It's a beautiful structure. You can see it from anywhere in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Anywhere high enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm in the...
You're lucky, by the way. The day that I went there, I never got a chance to go in.
Ooh.
So I just got to see it from the outside. And mind you, this is like maybe 10-ish years ago too. So it was like a lot older at that time.
Inside is just...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to get that. Nah, not to interrupt you, bud.
My bad. My bad.
Finish the story, bro.
So anyway, so then I'm coming down the little spiral staircase and I'm talking to this couple in front of me and it's a man and a wife or a husband and a wife and their son. And the son is like talking, spouting out all these facts and they're like entertaining him and it's like really funny and I'm laughing and we're all into it. Then we get to the bottom and I'm by myself in Barcelona, right? We get to the bottom and the lady turns around and she's like, let me guess, you're single and you don't have any kids. And I'm like,
lottery.
Yeah.
Winner, Ganyo.
And I'm like, is it that obvious? And she's like, yeah, you're way too happy.
Yeah, it's still funny.
I'm still practicing.
Yeah, it was just one of those funny moments that you share when you're traveling, which I'm sure you guys have. Yeah, it was hilarious, man.
I was talking about the part where you're like, some stranger picked up the person's kid.
That was in Turkey.
That was in
Istanbul.
So I mixed it up. All right, cool.
Yeah, so I'm with this couple. They're from Australia. We decided that we're staying in the same hotel. So I met them. We decided that we were gonna go eat because none of us know where to go eat. They heard about some place around the corner, so we go. Their baby is 9 months old. It's a little daughter. She's in the stroller still. We're going around with the stroller. And then we get to the restaurant, and then I guess he's the owner. Nobody speaks English, by the way. So we're in this restaurant. Dude goes into the stroller, takes the baby out, and kisses the baby. And then when the baby's in the stroller, like reaches his head down and starts kissing the baby's feet. And I'm doing this because this is what he was doing with the baby's feet. And I can't imagine that happening to a Caribbean family or, any other family, any other like traditionally strict family, Italian, maybe Greek, I don't know.
What nationality was that couple? Where like
They were mixed race, so or interracial. So the guy was he was brown,
Yeah.
and the girl looked Asian, maybe Kazakhstan, but yeah, she looked Asian, and so it was like a mixed race. It was really interesting. It was really really cool, and they were like whatever, because they had been there for a while, so it had happened to them before, and I'm experiencing this for the first time. Like, that's wild. That is wild. He can't even speak your language, and he's touching your baby. But it was just such a cultural thing.
How do you react? Someone picks up your daughter. She's 9 months.
Yo, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
Might have to be one of those ones, bro.
9 months is pretty early still.
Buddy.
Reaches in the stroller.
Oh man.
But it seemed like it was just a cultural thing. Like, we walked out the restaurant and there was a bunch of women all in hijabs, and they all like, oh my God, and they like followed the stroller for a bit. And it was like, I wonder if babies are some sort of like symbol of, I don't know, right? I just wonder, because it was like Children of Men. Has anyone seen Children of Men?
No.
When there was only the last baby on earth has ever been born was like 25 years ago. And then this lady was pregnant. And so when they saw the pregnant woman, she was like a god.
Yeah.
It was a great movie. You should go check it out.
Clive
Owen.
That alone has me kind of like.
Oh, it's a great movie. Oh, man, it's so good. And then he has to protect her because she needs to deliver the baby, but she can't deliver it anywhere because the government wants to study her. And the people want the baby to be born and like live among the people. But the government's like, no, we need to study her and like make money. So he's trying to hide her from the government. And he tries to get her across the country, across the UK, to like a doctor's house where she could have the baby, like a midwife almost. Bro. Great movie.
Yeah. We didn't talk about this, but I want to check in with you about this too. You went to Czech Republic as well.
Yes.
Yo, so I'm in New York.
You guys got 30 seconds for this shit, bro. Cause
Yeah.
I hear that you guys are out here stunting on me, boy.
I just met this guy in New York.
Yeah.
Who was actually a student at York, but he's from Czech Republic. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yo, you got to go to Czech Republic. I'm like, man, never heard of this. What am I going to go do in Czech Republic? He's like, it's like one of the top 5 cities or top 6, top 10 cities in the world that you got to go to, or in Europe, that you got to go to. I Google some pictures or start seeing it. What was your experience like out there?
Well, I mean, to be clear, Czech Republic is the country. The city is Prague. That's their main city.
Boom.
So Czech Republic used to be Czechoslovakia and is now split and is now Czech Republic and Slovakia.
Yeah.
So I was in Czech Republic, Prague, Czech Republic. Beautiful, to answer your question. Beautiful city. We were all black or brown, and so we thought that they were staring at us because they were racist, but it actually turns out that because of the history of the city, now that they're split, they're afraid of anybody coming to that city, that's anyone coming to their country, really, that isn't from Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic, because they're afraid of losing their identity. Mm-hmm. So they're like, who are these guys? And so some of us thought that they were like racist, but I decided to ask one of the people, and they're like, no, they hate all tourists. Like, they don't want.
So they didn't put out
like
the cameras.
The more traditional people, like some of the younger people don't care.
You didn't get the LeBron welcome there.
No, I didn't get the LeBron welcome there. No, I didn't. But this was back in like 2015 or something like that.
Okay, got it.
A long time ago.
Yeah, cause he was mentioning that it's become more touristy now, so maybe that could be a part of it.
It's a beautiful place, man. I want to go back. I want to go to Budapest, actually.
Boom.
I'd love to check out Eastern Europe. I love Eastern Europe. It's so wild.
Yeah, give me a top 3 list, both of you guys. Places you guys want to go.
Want to go?
Yeah, want to go. Top 3 on your list right now.
All right, you go, man.
Off the top of my head, I'd probably say Australia is my number 1 spot. I've always just wanted to go to Australia. I've always had some sort of fascination with koala bears. I don't know what it stems from, but this goes back to koala bears. As weird as that may sound, I don't know why. If I'm choosing an animal, koala bear.
Okay.
Does that deserve a pause?
If I'm choosing an animal, I'm choosing koala bear. That's a pause.
Number 2 on my list, I think I want to go with Japan.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And then number 3, South Africa.
Okay.
Nice. I guess for me, it would be Japan is definitely on my list.
It's dope.
Yeah. New Zealand is definitely on my list.
Yep.
And Ghana. I got to go to Ghana.
Okay.
I want to go to like West Africa.
I have a story. I'll tell the story real quick. I was supposed to go to Zambia.
Okay.
In 2000.
Zambia is beautiful.
9, I think it was, for my friend's wedding.
Yeah.
Work screwed me over. I was so mad. I was so mad. And I regret it so much because I feel like where I am in life now, I would have just left the job. Like, screw you guys and whatever BS you're trying to throw my way. Keep your job. I'm gone. Because an opportunity like that, all I had to do was pay for my flight. And we were set. I'm out there living like, yo, I'm in Africa, bro. On some Nas shit. I'm so mad I didn't go. I'm so mad I never went. So mad. But it's definitely up there. Like Ghana, all like, it's Africa
Nigeria,
altogether.
like I gotta go back.
Everywhere.
Man. Gotta go.
Yo, Ethiopia. Yo, Eritrea. Like, them places I'm trying to go,
Can you
yo.
imagine going to Ethiopia? That'd be crazy.
I'd become the greatest, like, 1,500-meter runner out there.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Shout out to all the Ethiopians and Kenyans, man.
Yeah, man.
Buddy just broke the freaking record right now. Broke a marathon
2
record
hours,
right now.
was it?
This is crazy.
Insanity.
Crazy.
2 hours?
Bro, I mean, before we go, big up the brand real quick. Body Ammo again. Shout out Pree. Hopefully she's back next week. If not, I'm sure we'll get her the week after. I see you got a bracelet on there real quick because that's what she does. She creates energy bracelets.
Oh, dope. Okay, yeah. I like the
one you got on there too, though.
I just like black jewelry, but yeah, I don't even remember where I bought this one, but love the black bracelet.
Whenever you get a chance, go check out Body Ammo.
Do it.
Trust me, proper. And anybody who's listening and or watching, we'll throw the key in there. Big up the brand again every time, like I said. Big up Face. That's SB the student. Nas is behind the scenes. I go by Bun, but I want to reserve the last spot for you. The fake LeBron James out here. Trust me, I rate him. He's my favorite. But shout out your Instagram. Tell them where to find you.
Yeah, you can hit me up on. Yeah, I mean, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on the show, man. I really appreciated it. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you, sir.
You know what I mean? Love the consistency. Love what you guys are doing. So congrats, first of all. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming, bro.
Thanks
for coming with the energy, too.
Yeah.
Only going up this year.
You're welcome, man. But yeah, you guys can catch me on Instagram. It's _Dre_. LinkedIn, whatever, all of that. It's just Andre Williamson. Production company coming out soon. I'm going to be creating some original content. So you'll see that. And shoot, man, this is 2023. 2024 is going to be an insane year for me.
Buddy.
Only going up this year.
But yeah, lastly, before we go, I just want to shout out everybody who's been getting at us. Not just myself, SB, Knots, but we're getting some of that same, I guess, like big up your thing a little bit type of talks from people. So
of course.
I just wanted to say, unplug this real quick, is don't link me and tell me how well you think this is. Just leave it in the comments.
Boom.
SB, you share the same sentiment?
Yeah, no, I agree with that
You would
too.
say the same thing? Like, you don't have to link me and tell me personally. Just put it in the comments. I got one better. Share with a friend.
Do both.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Hit the like button. Do all of that good stuff.
Start sharing it with a friend. Because I feel like there's always somebody in their life that could relate to what we're talking about that you know.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this is perfect for you. Boom. Here you go.
Just share it with one friend. That's it. I mean, you could just put it in the comments, like I said.
You guys all got a hidden book nerd in your crew. Come on.
Anyway, sorry.
Only going up this year.
Big up Dre one more time, yo. Thank you for coming out. Big up Centennial once again. And on that note, this was another episode of Speak Your Perspective.